Hello, you beautiful 508 people.
We love every single one of you except number 35. You know who you are.
Number 35.
And number 35 is like, what did I do? Am I 35?
And number 42 knows everything.
Yeah, 42 is a smart motherfucker. This podcast is brought to you by Stevie Wick's Cool Beans Candle Company, and they know what a great deal this is.
They do.
Because if you may notice, this one looks a little different. We'll talk about that more later. Now, we're going to talk about Donald Trump and the amazing shit show that is This American Nightmare.
It's shitty, all right. That's for sure.
Well, you know what, though? Honestly, the thought I had today was it's a paradigm shift for sure, but not the way the Democrats think it is, because they're setting a ton of horrible precedents, and they do not realize this is going to come back to bite them in the ass massively because, once again, and here's the thing, this is what I want to encourage it, because I had this discussion today with somebody else. Listen, full disclosure, I wouldn't consider myself a Trumper. I liked a lot of things he did.
Oh, you definitely aren't.
The man has faults. But if you look at what has happened objectively, they got nothing on this dude.
No.
He survived first and only president in history to have 2 impeachments and survive both of them. There was no Russian collusion. Like, I know for everybody's like, well, the Mueller report said there was evidence. No, the Mueller report said there was not enough evidence to suggest Russian collusion. There were certain members in the Trump camp that there's some evidence that they were talking with Russian officials, but there's nothing. Nobody's in jail for that. People are in jail, but not for that. I almost misspoke. But they got nothing on this dude. The Steele dossier. Joe Biden, however, you really think that, especially after this precedent, you really think if Trump doesn't win back the presidency, he's not going to be out for blood, and justifiably so? Actually, I thought you'll find this funny, and actually, I'm half joking, but it actually makes sense. You know what the ideal Republican ticket would be if they won?
Who? DeSantis and Trump?
But DeSantis president and Trump vice president. Now, before comments, here's why. As the vice president, Donald Trump's only job is essentially to be a mouthpiece. But many people don't know this. Part of the vice president's technical constitutional job is he or she gets to preside over the Senate. They just haven't done so regularly for a long time, unless they need a tie-breaking vote. Could you imagine Donald Trump sitting in every single Senate session?
Oh my gosh.
C-SPAN would have the best ratings they've ever had or ever will have. Listen, Nancy, I see what you're doing here, and I don't like it.
Give me the gavel.
Think about this. This is Donald Trump's dream job. He gets to sit in the Senate and troll Democrats all the time. That would be his job.
Dude, I think he would have way too much fun with that. And the problem is, this isn't his problem. This is their problem. With, even if he's an old man, for how sharp he is for an old man, like, he's very quick. I mean, he may not give you the answer you want, but he's got one preloaded.
Oh, he's boom. My favorite.
What color's the sky? I'm not going to talk about the color of the sky. What's the color of Trump Towers? Yeah, green. Like money.
That's so true. Oh my god.
Are they really? Are they actually green? I thought they were gold.
I don't know. Okay. I think they are gold. The logo at least is. I don't know. But I was thinking about that, and I started chuckling, and I'm like, wait, that would actually be tremendous. Like, think of Trump supporters. Think about this for a second. That's the dream team. Let DeSantis do all the politic and stuff, and Trump just gets to troll all the time. It would be glorious.
That would work. I've heard from a lot of conspiracy theorists that DeSantis was Soros funded. But the thing is, I also recently heard in the interview that we're probably going to talk about here soon with Piers Morgan, he said he fired a prosecutor that was backed by Soros.
Yeah,
You know how things like to get misconstrued on the internet. Now, I 100 without a doubt say that he isn't? No, but I don't think he is.
Well, and you bring up an interesting point, and actually the interview you're talking about, one of the things that does bother me about DeSantis is he seems almost too politically savvy sometimes. And what I mean by that is,
like he knows what's going to happen and say what's going to be said.
Not so much that, it's just that he and on the one hand, it's smart to do politically, but on the one hand, it's kind of like, ugh, because that's what I hate. One of my big things is I like authentic people. And I'm not saying, like, DeSantis isn't so much that it's fake, it's just he's not saying what he wants to say.
Well,
he's saying the politically smart thing to say.
I agree with what you're saying, and I think I know the reason why. Is because the thing is, Trump was the one who came out and was like just so verbal about everything, and DeSantis is a part of the old group of Republicans who's starting to come out, if that's the way to say it. They're coming out of the quiet closet, and he's finally starting to say stuff, and that's why he became so popular with how he ran his state during COVID and whatnot. Like they didn't lose very much money due to COVID, unlike other states. Indiana, I know, lost a lot of money because our governor was an idiot. He waited until 4 or 5 months into the pandemic to start with a mask.
Yeah.
Makes sense of that.
But not only that, like, if I could sum up our governor in one word, he's patronizing.
Oh yeah.
Because I full disclosure, on our Instagram, we follow him so that we can. No, not DeSantis. Holcomb.
Oh yeah. I
mean, we
do.
No, the Average Intelligence podcast. We follow DeSantis and Trump too, by the way. But we also follow Pelosi.
You gotta know what they're saying and what they're doing. So
the reason I follow so many politicians on there is so I can comment. But like, Holcomb is always so like
Hulkamaniac.
Why he didn't use that in the campaign, I don't know, but
because he's not a genius. Like I said, I have a beautiful brain.
You do. It's tremendous. But Holcomb is just, if it's not what the fuck is he doing, it's an eye roll.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's like, so every time I see it, which first of all, he doesn't tweet or do any of that himself because I'm pretty sure he doesn't know how to work a phone. But everything is like, it was so tremendous spending time with like, I don't know, the Sikh community outreach program. It's like, fucking shut up. You didn't want to go there. Nothing against the Sikh community outreach, but I saw that's one of the Instagram posts that came to mind. It's like, you didn't want to fucking be there.
Hell no.
You're doing the political kissing babies and shaking hands. I get it, but fucking at least be real.
Kissing asses and shaking babies.
I feel like it's in a movie. Is that in a movie?
I think so, and I'm pretty sure it's like, was it taking names and kissing baby? Okay, yeah. I can't remember what it was. I feel like, no, not Jay and Silent Bob.
Did you see? Probably not, because I don't think you're on TikTok very often.
I see.
Well, there's that. But did you see Terry Crews?
Honey? No, what would Terry Crews say?
He got up. What was his name in Idiocracy? I can never remember it. When he was the president.
Oh man. I'll look it up real quick. I gotta know.
Yeah, I can't remember. But anyway, he got in that costume on TikTok and did a video where somebody's like, "What would you do in 2024?" He's like, "Honestly, I go around and slap a bunch of people."
President Camacho.
That's
Camacho.
Right. Camacho. Yeah, and he was like, "You get smacked. We smacking everybody." I was like, "Oh God, this is tremendous." I think 2024 is going to be.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be content galore.
It's going to be insane.
I can't wait. Because
I'll be honest, I've never been one to, and I might just be getting older, which is a thing.
You are.
But I don't think I've ever actually believed that a presidential or an election cycle I think we are legitimately fighting for the soul of the United States. And that's the first time in my life I've ever genuinely thought that was the case.
You didn't think it would ever happen within our lifetime,
I didn't think it would be this politically divided. But the difference is, this isn't what we're seeing. I don't think this is a divide of political philosophy. I think we have a case of where the fringes on both sides have become way too radical, but one side is just objectively ignoring the real world, and they want everyone else to share in the delusion. It's like almost the literal Matrix, except if the Matrix was half the people wanting to stay in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Like, we have groups of people who I honestly cannot bring myself to believe that they actually think this way.
No, but at the same time, I mean, jumping back to the Matrix reference, did you not feel for what's his face? I can't remember his name. In the movie, he wanted to go back into the Matrix because he's like,
Cypher,
you know what?
wasn't it?
Cypher, yeah. He's like, you know what? He said they're chewing a steak. He goes like, ignorance is bliss.
I mean, there's a legitimate point to be made there.
Now,
but
don't get me wrong. Just because it's not real doesn't mean it's perfect. But
well, if it's real to his senses, it's real enough. And you remember one of the caveats was he would forget that he knows about the Matrix.
Yeah, and I want to be someone important.
Yeah,
like an actor.
Yeah, which is just wonderful. But
yeah,
speaking of the Matrix, and we're gonna go all over on this, but this actually does kind of tie into Trump. The paradigm shift I was talking about is you've been seeing a lot of people get either literally or figuratively or metaphorically rather locked in prison, sent to jail, and one of those people was Andrew Tate. And we learned not only a few hours ago that Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan, well, they're on house arrest, but they are out of prison. They have been released from prison, which tells me they don't have much, if anything. I don't think they have anything.
Why are they going to let them out? If they had something concrete, then they wouldn't have gotten out.
Well, here's my favorite argument. And what they've done is they've made it an argument of basically a personal belief. So they are alleging, which I'm sure everybody's in the know, but for those who aren't, they are alleging that Tristan and Andrew Tate engaged in human trafficking by use of the lover boy method, which is essentially they get girls to fall in love with them and then the girls do whatever they want. First of all, the mainstream media outlets reporting this nonsense, and believe you me, we're going to get more into that part too. It's like they don't think about what they're saying beyond the surface level. Because, okay, let's assume, for this example, let's assume that that's true. Let's assume that the lover boy method is the thing. Wouldn't that mean that women are capable of being manipulated? They're capable of being manipulated by a man, bereft of their own free will?
Yeah.
Completely free of the consequences of their actions? That doesn't seem very feminist to me.
Well, that's the thing, though. They don't keep themselves around feminists.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about the journalists that are reporting this. I'm sorry, if you really, we're talking about adults here. I could see maybe if you're talking about teenagers, maybe that kind of manipulation might apply. And don't get me wrong, I think people can absolutely be manipulated, but you reach a certain point where whose fault is that? Anything you have done, we're not talking about them being forcefully taken anywhere.
You almost channeled your inner Tate there.
I'm trying not to because I don't. But we've seen video footage of girls leaving the house. If you watch Tate Confidential, you see it all the time. And
not to mention the girls going out to grab pizza and then go back in the house. It's like, you'd think if they got the option, they get the pizza, they could just be like, "Hey, take me. He's trying to keep me here." It's like, yeah.
Well, and they all have their phones. And one of the last episodes of Tate Confidential they had before they were. Who'd you say hello to?
Sasha. She commented. She said, "Hello."
Hello.
Hello.
But one of the last episodes of Tate Confidential that they had before they got detained, you saw What the?
Seesaw.
Nobody. For some reason, my screen is black.
It's not black on my feed.
For some reason, my screen is black.
It's perhaps your screen.
Oh, no, there it is. Okay. Yep, it was just being stupid.
Stupid screen.
stupid screen. But anyway, where's he going? Oh, so they were doing that yacht party, and they show a scene where Tristan addresses everyone on the boat saying, if you want to leave, let me, or I think it was Georgiana, his assistant, know, and we will arrange a water taxi to take you inland, and we'll book your flight within, well, he said, just please give us a day so that we can arrange everything. Don't like spring it on us. We'll do what we can to accommodate. It's like, yeah, that sounds like they have, like captives.
Yeah. No.
On their boat, which you can leave it pretty much any time, save for the logistics. Which I guess technically, if you want to, you can always jump off the boat. Like, good luck, but
make room on that fucking door.
Different ocean too, so it's a little bit warmer, I would say. But yeah. I think it's going to be very interesting because Tate's going to start talking now.
Oh, it's on. It is on.
Speaking of which, I sent you, because I know I don't think you're on TikTok very often. I sent you, Tate made it to South Park.
Yeah, I saw that. The funny thing is about this is, like, it's not the same situation, but Trump, DeSantis, well, sort of DeSantis, Trump and Tate are kind of like getting this right now, all this stuff that's going on, because, I mean, Trump's dealing with the Stormy Daniels bullshit, and then he's dealing with trafficking. So, I mean, both have to do with sex work. So it's like,
yeah, isn't it funny? And that's how I was going to tie it into Trump. Both of these men are being pursued by the law, shall we say. Trump hasn't actually been put in prison yet, but apparently he's supposed to be arraigned
soon. I don't believe, from what I've seen, I don't believe there's any date or day set. I think he says early next week, because obviously it's Friday.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it did say early next week.
But I think he's probably spending all his time right now with his lawyers and trying to figure out what the hell's going on,
Oh, I think they saw this coming.
Do you think he's actually going to see the inside of a cell? Because obviously they can't put him.
I don't think so.
He's a former president, so if he goes in, he has to go with Secret Service. I mean, so anyway, yeah, I don't think he's going. He would end up, if he did anything, it would be house arrest.
I think it worse. And again, technically speaking, like statute
of limitations already kills this case. Like, how do you have a statute?
Oh, because they made it a felony. That's how they got around.
No, a felony statute of limitations. Excuse me. In New York is 5 years, and the misdemeanor is 3, I believe.
So Shapiro said that the way I heard him explain this, and I can't remember word for word, but
it might have been who I heard it from.
In order to get around the statutes of limitations, they had to make it a felony campaign finance charge. But here's the problem, and again, this is coming from Ben, because I have not had enough time to really dig into this, because I wasn't sure if Trump was going to get indicted. That happened today.
And we are not lawyers by any means. We're just
no, not at all.
We find on the
but
internet.
I was prepping for. I was prepping for the premium episode, which by the way, everyone, I apologize. I misspoke on the video I uploaded yesterday.
Oh, I noticed that. I forgot to say something too.
That I realized after I said it, but I'll be honest, I was too lazy to redo it.
It's okay.
Well, no, I did not realize it was going to take me over an hour to read that damn bill.
Bitches.
It's fucking wild. But anyway, I misspoke. So I was doing all the research for TikTok. But the way I understand it, based upon what he said, is they've essentially got nothing, because if Trump can prove that, yeah, we paid Stormy Daniels off because of the campaign, because we didn't want to damage the campaign, that's a valid campaign expense.
Is it?
So, yeah, because apparently
so
John...
is that how Bill Clinton got away with it back in the 90s?
Not Bill Clinton, but John Edwards.
Is that who paid it for him?
No, John Edwards was running for vice president in 2000.
Okay. Bill Clinton actually paid someone, I believe it was $750,000 to hush up.
during the campaign, though?
I'm not sure, but the thing is,
Yeah, that's
what would you need her to hush up for then?
well, because you don't want it to damage the campaign. Because
Well,
here's the
yeah,
thing.
that's what I
Here's the
mean.
thing that nobody now like. Do I think Trump fucks Stormy Daniels? Absolutely, I do. But we're just talking legally here. Trump never actually admitted to doing that. People pay hush money all the time, whether
Oh
it's
yeah,
true or not, especially if you're celebrities.
Paula
A lot of
Jones.
times, a lot of times, it is actually easier to just pay someone off than to let it deal with the public outcry because, as we know, the court of public opinion is rarely innocent until proven guilty. So when you're in the middle of an election cycle, it might just be easier to pay somebody off and tell them, shut up, take your money, go.
Well, they're saying it's not real anyway. The Paula Jones thing.
Of course they are.
Yeah, I have no idea. So
But
you can't say the Trump one's true.
not necessarily. Now, but here we go again. Do I think he did it? Absolutely.
Probably.
But that's not what's relevant. What's relevant is it has yet to be proven legally, I guess.
I don't see why it matters, to be honest with you.
In this case, it really doesn't, because the issue at hand, and I'm just laughing because the liberal pages have not learned yet. Everybody's like, yeah, Trump's indicted, acting like Trump is in prison.
Yeah, they're not. Like, he's done.
No, this is literally the beginning. Like, and yes, he has other pending suits. I understand that, but it's Donald Trump.
You guys just opened up a can of worms.
I think they did. I think they fucked up.
Because anything that is like has to do with campaign and running for office, it doesn't matter the year anymore. You guys, if you go through with this, it doesn't matter the year anymore. Like, your skeletons are going to come out. And
you have handed
scary skeletons.
Well, here's the thing. Even if they take down Trump, they've already shot themselves in the foot because they've given Republicans the precedent to follow. It's like, okay, you want to start going after ex-presidents? All right. We'll play that game.
Oh,
it doesn't matter if Trump or DeSantis wins. They're going after Biden.
The Bill Clinton kid's going to have nothing to talk about.
Yeah, so something about it is a political movement to say stupid shit.
All right, in alphabetical order. Name 10 books.
Like starting with A?
Starting with F.
Fuck. God damn it.
Fuck's
I told no.
Kama Sutra.
And I'm not going to turn around either because there are books behind me. Frankenstein.
Oh, there we go.
G's next, right? Yeah, G.
FG.
Frankenstein.
You got an easy one right behind it. Well, actually,
I can't look.
The count.
The wouldn't count because alphabetically the doesn't count.
There you go.
Jesus Christ! Wow, that's a curveball. And I have this thing where
you thought I was going to go with A or something.
Well, no, that's not it. I told you to throw me a curveball. I have this thing when I put it on the spot, my brain stops working. Great Gatsby.
There you go.
Henry V. The Iliad.
You got an easier one in H.
Yeah, I know, but Iliad. I'm on J. Yes.
It just has to be after F if you have it within the same thing. You don't have to change up letters. That's.
Oh, it just has to be after F?
Yeah.
Origin of Species. The Silmarillion.
All right, you're on number
Moby
7.
Dick. So Moby Dick is number 7.
Okay.
That's an A. That's B. Shit. Lord of the Flies.
Ooh.
What about Numbers? That'd be before. Okay, so that doesn't help. That's A, so that doesn't work. Shit.
I figured this would be easy for you.
My problem is Where the Red Fern Grows.
Oh, there you go.
And that's an A. Shit. Tom Sawyer.
There you go. See, I was going to tell you The Hobbit.
Well, right. I thought I had to go in alphabetical order. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yes, you're right. I thought Henry V.
Nice.
Aha!
Haha.
Fuck you.
Nice.
For those of you who don't know, I told him I want to play this game because I like brain teasers like that. I told him to give me at any time he wants to during a podcast, he can give me a name 10 books challenge, but he has to throw me a curveball. And that could be that was a good one because I was not expecting that. I thought of one I suggested was I had to name the author too, or I can't like series don't count, or
I was
can't.
going to, and then I decided after F because I was
That
like,
was good.
That's a little tough trying to name the authors on a whim. I mean,
Oh, I know, but that's why it's challenging. I like that. That was fun.
All right, look forward to more of those. I'll make them interesting.
I completely lost where I was. What the hell were we talking? Oh yes, so
rewind it back.
No, they're coming for Biden now. I mean, I think they were already, but now they're coming after Biden. They're going to be coming after Pelosi.
Dude,
sure.
The quid pro quo. I mean, they've got the video evidence, and then it everything went down as he wanted it to.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Well, and then because if you all remember, I forget which one it was, I think that was a premium episode. Never mind, which you can check out in that premium episode where we talk about Ukraine. I read that infamous phone call between Trump and Zelensky.
Oh, that terrible
verbatim,
phone call.
Word for word. Yeah, that awful phone call, which was really more dull than anything.
It was a fantastic call. It was a perfect call.
Actually, isn't it funny how towards the end you can sense that Trump is trying to get off the phone?
Oh, yeah, dude. Like, literally, Piers Morgan was talking about him, and he was like, when he's done, he's done. He decides when the interview's over, not the interviewer. And I was like, well, that's kind of how it works.
Well, what's hilarious is if you read that phone call, you can tell that exact moment when that happens. He's like, tremendous, well, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like he starts talking so much less than Zelensky. It's hilarious. And I can just imagine him be like, okay, great, Vladimir. Glad to hear it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He'll call you. Bye. Hey, Jesus, I thought I would never get him off the phone.
I don't feel like Trump like really truly likes to talk to someone for very long. Like either they're just not entertaining him or not matching his conversation or something. I don't know.
Oh, 100%. I can see that.
Because it's not about him, right?
Well, no, I think if Trump digs who he's talking to, I think he could go.
Oh yeah, and he'll be talking about himself in the third person, be like, Donald Trump's a really great person. Have you ever met him? I have.
Well, that's just how he refers to his dick.
Could you imagine if the face was not Donald Trump, but yet there was an actual Donald Trump, and it ended up being George Soros or something? Like,
would you like to meet Donald Trump Jr.? Not that God. One.
Oh my gosh. Oh no, he whips it out and it's got a face. What are you doing? Like, taco flavor kisses.
He's like, listen, don't worry about it. It's gonna be huge. Give it a minute.
Mini Donald Trump, or no. On Twitter, there's a Spanish Donald Trump, and it's like, oh dude, it's just got him in a sombrero with a mustache. Dude, it's funny.
It's phenomenal. Man, I don't know why YouTube's being stupid for me, but it keeps.
It's fine over here.
I know. It's my phone because it did it before. I think it's just the app being dumb.
Oh, stupid app hole.
Stupid app here.
Sorry, I can't breathe out my nose.
Breaking not news.
I know. I feel like that's gotten us a few videos, a few views, and they're like, "What the fuck is this? I didn't see that. I thought it said news. It says not news."
Stupid. It's so stupid. But Canva rocks, man.
Oh, dude.
I didn't tell you this
flames in the background of it. It's like,
oh, I didn't tell you. I totally got the premium.
Oh, Canva? I did too. I did the premium free, but I did cancel. I think.
I'm not canceling. It's
awesome.
It's worthwhile just to be able to remove backgrounds, though.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, like, it actually fucking works. So yeah, I'm keeping that around. So if you need me to remove the background for something, just send it over.
Can I do that? Can you do that?
Yeah. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Japanesey, ketchupy.
Nice and greasy.
Did you know that fucking Japanese people love ketchup?
I feel like there's a joke here.
But... No joke. This is true. I was watching a video of this guy. He is in Japan. He lives in Japan, and I believe it's called Japan Eats on YouTube. It's like a shorts thing, but also.
Oh, I think I've seen that.
Oh, it's great. He shows McDonald's so much, and I'm like, why doesn't our food look like that? The chicken actually looks like chicken.
Because it actually is chicken.
Yeah, here it's just ground up people. It's people! Soil ain't green.
Did I ever tell? I think I brought it up on the podcast, but I can't remember. There's a brand of meal replacement shakes called Soylent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they're all colored.
I mean, I just couldn't do it.
So, listen, someone in that company is the only fucker who's seen that movie.
They're genius.
Well, and here's the best part. I think their first one was brown, like cocoa, but then he's like, "Yeah, we should totally do red." And then there's a yellow, and then when I discovered them, their newest flavor was mint chocolate. Guess what the color was?
What was it?
It was fucking green. And I'm just like, you gotta be shitting me. There's one person in this company who knows, and it's just belly laughing every day.
I thought that you were saying that there was different colors that matched skin colors.
No, because in the movie they had
it was all green. Oh, did they have Soylent Red? Okay, I've never actually seen the movie.
Yeah, you did. We watched it in school.
I didn't pay attention to it.
You just don't remember it. Soylent Green was the new color that had everything the human body needed. Spoiler alert, it's because it was made of people.
Yeah, I was saying about the it matching skins.
Yeah.
I was gonna say red was Arabian Nights. The wrong Arabians. No,
they're not Arabians. But seriously, if for those of you who are watching, if you haven't seen Soylent Green, I actually highly recommend it. It's a pretty good.
Charlton Heston, correct?
Yep.
Yep.
Soylent Green is made of people.
And nobody's just like, they're like, what are you doing?
They're like, this is crazy. You should eat some Soylent Green.
You're eating lips and assholes.
Oh God. So much like Tate, I predict that nothing is going to come of this Trump thing. And if that is the case, now here's the thing. If Trump is guilty of a legitimate crime, he should absolutely pay the price. I just don't think he is guilty. And like I was going to say, much like Tate, they've just given him the key to the world by trumping up these charges, and nothing comes of it. That is obvious targeting. It's obvious. And if Trump is found innocent, which I predict he will be, at least to a certain extent, I mean, you have seen the open weaponization of law enforcement to a political opponent. And do you really think that the American people won't notice that? Like, I know the far left will pretend like it's not happening, and they will cry victim, do we want to talk about the Nashville? I don't know.
I'd rather not.
Okay. The only reason I was going to bring it up is because the media response has been just
awful,
pitiful, pathetic, insulting.
All right, yeah,
all of the above.
We're bringing it in. So anyone who watches the podcast would probably know Jake and I, we're not like anti-religion, but we're not really religious. But anyway, so why is Biden coming on to the scene and saying we love the trans community, and yet he's not even saying anything about the Christians that were killed? There was children that were killed, and he's not like backing them up. Like, that person went in there and literally took innocent life over nothing, and not to mention Barbara Walters a couple weeks ago literally said in a roundabout way, basically, no, she didn't even say in a roundabout way, she said kill the Christians, and then like someone said, haha, you're joking, right? And she just with straight face, she's like, yeah.
To be fair, I think that was an older interview. Sorry, I'm over here being not religious. But I think that was an older interview. Not that much older, but I think it was, because Barbara Walters is dead. But Hang on, now
it's not Barbara Walters. I'm sorry. Who was that? Jane Fonda. My bad.
Oh, you're right. Yes, it was Jane Fonda.
Sorry, guys. Jane Fonda.
No, but they were. Oh, I remember Barbara Walters because that I Am Jazz person. Barbara Walters interviewed that family a while ago. That's why I was.
My bad, everyone. I misspoke.
Yeah, but you're right. Jane Fonda, absolutely.
I mean, if you want to get down to it, isn't that technically incitement?
I mean, yes, I think so. But so here's the thing, and this is the truly. Well, this isn't the truly. This is one of the tragic parts of what's going on here. Is the fact that, look, just because that shooter identified themselves as transgender does not speak to the transgender community. But because of the media's reaction to this,
it is highlighting them.
They're actually lumping them in together in the way they're not. They shouldn't be trying to.
And everybody's raising this person up on a pedestal that went into a school.
Really?
Oh yeah, like
yeah.
You
oh no, I'm not.
Oh,
sorry, I've seen it. I'm sorry. No. What I'm saying is like it's more of a reaction. I saw that. I'm like, really?
It's disgusting.
This is the conversation we're going to have. This one, not the fact that this person killed, I believe it was a 9-year-old, 2 8-year-olds, and 3 adults. We're not going to have that conversation. We're going to have the conversation about how the person who did the murdering was allegedly victimized. Shut the fuck up.
It's like
when?
I don't know if hell exists, but I hope it does for them. I legitimately don't understand. I'm at my wit's end. I don't understand why they are fighting so hard for this particular cause compared to all the others. But also,
nobody.
Go ahead.
Well, because here's the thing: when you had the Pulse nightclub shooter, which was also a terrible thing that happened, awful. That person should rot in hell too. But nobody was coming out and saying like, "Well, we have to defend the Muslims." Everybody was saying that listen, that person did not speak for the community, which should be the reaction. But thankfully, someone had the decent foresight to cancel the, I believe it was going to be called the Trans Day of Vengeance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thankfully, the organizers had the common sense to cancel that one. Oh, and then you, of course, heard about how people burst into the Capitol building.
In Tennessee.
Well, I was going to do a play where I was just going to describe January 6th and then be like, oh, wait, no, that was in Nashville. But yes, that's what I'm referring to.
It.
No, it's all good. That's what except, you know what? Police were not escorting people into that building. They were escorting them out.
Yeah, because those people, the way they were acting, like that's the thing. You could see the difference between the two parties and how they acted inside the building. The one were being escorted by police and they're just walking up, taking pictures by something and then leaving. Well, and then this one, you have hundreds of people. If I don't even know how many there were, maybe thousands, literally trying to climb over these officers. It looked like war. Well I wouldn't say war, but it looked like World War Z.
It kind of did. I do want to clarify one thing you said though, because yes, there were instances of that happening in the Capitol riot on January 6th. But
there was people trying to break doors
perpetrating
open.
Violence. And you remember, you can go back and watch the episode. It's still on YouTube. I was all kinds of hot about that.
Well, where
we disagreed on certain parts of that, but I was like, no, you don't. Sorry, I don't care. I don't care what political position you are. You don't get to smash in the windows of a Capitol building and demand anything. You don't get that privilege.
No, and that's the thing. I don't think I'd ever disagree with that.
Yeah. Now, were there some differences? Probably, but there again, and that's what is called a civil discussion. Because at no point, at no point was one of us like, "You're an idiot."
I'm an idiot. You're an idiot.
It's not hard.
Quite possibly one of the best sound bites ever.
Yeah, I mean, we disagree on stuff all the time.
Oh yeah.
Nothing. I mean, I wouldn't say anything major, but I don't know. We have. I can't think of one right now, but we do have some pretty fundamental differences of opinion. But we just talk about something else.
And yet we grew up same area, same everything like that, and came up with different opinions. So
basically, yeah.
I think you dated a lot more libs, and I stuck to conservative girls.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, no, that's definitely true. If not by volume, by content.
Well, it was also where you've always like tried to stay. Like I didn't you move? You moved out of our hometown really early, didn't you?
As quickly as I could.
See, there you go.
Oh man, I tried hard to be liberal. I did. I tried real hard.
Maybe that's
But
why.
I
Maybe that's why
just
we didn't get along for 8 years. No, I'm just kidding.
no, I can tell you exactly why we didn't get along for 8 years, but that's irrelevant to this conversation. But
You know, though, I
oh no, I'll
before
own that.
2016, I didn't care about anything.
Oh no, I'll completely
Cared
own that.
nothing.
I was a dick. But anyway, shit, where were we going with that? I had a point
January
somewhere.
6th, when you were talking about it pissed you off.
Oh yeah. But it pissed me off the same way Nashville pissed me off. It pissed me off the same way. Uh, it wasn't Milwaukee. What? Wait, was it Milwaukee? Yeah, it was Milwaukee, wasn't it?
I can't remember.
The Rittenhouse.
Kenosha.
Kenosha, that's right, Kenosha. Sorry, but I think something happened in Milwaukee too, and I can't remember who it is. But there was a Republican. Can't remember if it was a senator or a congressman. But anyway, he was showing pictures of riots happening, and he kept saying like, "Oh, but wait, that's not January 6th. That's
BLM
Seattle,
riots
or
and
that's yeah. Oh, Seattle. It happened in
what
Seattle.
they call that zone? The autonomous zone?
Chaz?
Chaz?
Well, there were two.
The ultra instinct autonomous?
But I mean, just it's fucking wild. I just don't understand it. Like, there's a massive amount of false conflation that happens on the left today, and transgenderism being only one of them. It's like, look, I get so frustrated when we're having these arguments because it's like, yeah, sure, there are some people on the right who are completely denying transgenderism as a whole, but the bulk of it is just like, just leave the kids alone.
That's it.
Like, you
That
can
is
do whatever the
it.
fuck, like you can do whatever the fuck you want, but like
Dude,
just leave the
there
kids
are
alone.
a ton of trans people on Twitter and I'm assuming all social media right now literally saying please leave the kids alone and
Yes,
quit
and there's
lumping
so many
us
of them.
in basically what you were talking about earlier, lumping us into one when, they don't want to be, like you said, they don't want to be identify with that person just because they made a horrible mistake, you know. No, I'm sorry, not a horrible mistake. They decided to
A
kill
horrible
people.
choice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
horrible choice.
Oh, because you cannot convince me in any way, shape, or form that that was not intentional. In fact, they wrote that it was intentional.
Right.
So there's really no. But the thing that I found, it wasn't funny, but I found morbidly amusing, was the fact that when that was being reported, the shooter was identified as a female. But then I read a headline saying that that person was transgender. So I'm like, and this kind of proves why it is actually important, because my first thought was, oh shit, so is it a biological female or a biological male? Because it's unclear. Because they've been saying she, but then they said that she was transgender. So
So it was a girl.
biological female that identified as a male. But it took me 3 hours to figure this out.
See, I thought I had it backwards.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. That's why it is a problem. And here's the thing. Let's imagine that the country goes completely fully woke. Like let's just imagine, and then something like this happens. The cops are given a description. That description may not be empirically accurate because they might be looking for a male, and then they come across a biological female with a butchy haircut. This is why this shit's important, and it's like going to your doctor too, which now they're just mentally gymnasticsing. It's like, like, what is your gender? But what gender were you assigned at birth? Because they still have to treat you a certain way if you were born a male versus a female.
Hormones. I know people have probably been prescribed hormones in the past for certain issues and actual real issues, but like now they're just prescribing them to people who think that they're, something they're not. We don't have any true long-term studies.
not being used to like that. No.
No.
Well, we do on hormone therapies, but not for this application.
Yes, this is more like recreational use. Obviously not. But I mean, essentially.
Well, but it's worth noting that they made the same argument about marijuana, and they were only half wrong. But we didn't have many long-term studies because they weren't allowed to do the studies.
Right, and so when these long-term studies come out in 5-10 years and they say it causes extreme like anxiety, causes extreme like confusion, you know, and it's like it probably does give people gender dysphoria after they get it, and that's why many of them don't feel better and the suicide rate stays the same afterwards because it doesn't do anything for them.
It's funny you mentioned that because I forget her name, and I'm really annoyed that I'm forgetting her name, but Jordan Peterson did an interview with her a while ago, and she was a girl who, when she was a teenager, started to transition to being a male, including hormone, puberty blockers, and double mastectomy, I believe.
I've been seeing quite a few videos of those women regretting, but go ahead.
Yeah, but the point is that she would, and this is conjecture, just full disclosure, this is conjecture, and even she said so because she's like, there is no long-term data. But I think ultimately it made me worse because I started taking the hormones. Oh, I'm sorry. She did puberty blockers, and then she started taking testosterone, so she's a double whammy. And she said when she started taking the testosterone, she felt even more uncomfortable because it was a completely new, like her body is fighting it because it's out of sync with her
natural biology.
Again, this is conjecture, and she said this, but that makes complete sense to me, and I could be wrong because I'm not a doctor. I don't know any of this shit, but just to me, I can totally see, much like though when you're on a mind-altering medication. Now, if you have a legitimate issue and that medication corrects it, then you can feel tremendously good.
Like multiple personality disorder, schizophrenia.
Yeah, 100%.
Like that. It's like, come on.
But I've also had a number of people who have any range of mental illness, and they start getting put on medication, but it's not quite right. And there's a lot of people that suffer from mental health disorders, legitimate ones, who, because their medication isn't quite right, they actually feel worse when they're medicated. And then for some reason, they don't take their medication because they don't feel good when they take it. And for some reason, they don't talk to their doctor and figure it out. But that's a whole other thing. But like these drugs can completely mess with your head if it's not necessary or the correct dosage. Like, this is documented, so why would it be any different for somebody who's suffering from gender dysphoria?
On top of that, using these drugs before your brain's fully developed could have an adverse effect of how you develop for the rest of your life, and then it's the liberal disease.
So here's the I half agree with that. Well, I agree with that statement, but here's the only reason why I wouldn't implement that into policy, because you're correct, but if you take that to the fullest extent of where you should go with it, that means that somebody wouldn't be able to start transitioning until they were 25. And I just believe that as long as the age to enter the military is 18, then I think everything else should be 18.
Oh yeah, I agree. Like, so even though I disagree with cigarettes, 18. I mean, it's been 18 forever, and they made it 21.
The way I view it is, if you can voluntarily or through a draft, because while they haven't done it, they legally, I mean, like, it's a thing they can do. If you can be conscripted into the armed forces and get shot at by this age, then everything else is available to you as well.
And doesn't military ID like get you things, or is that like?
I think on base only.
Myth. On base.
Now, I've been told that if you're under 21 on base, you can get beer. I don't know if that's accurate. If somebody's in the military and knows the answer to that question, please let me know. But that's what I've been told by people who have served. So I don't know if that's accurate. Well, and then plus two, if you're overseas, I believe you may be subject to their drinking laws, or maybe the military just turns a blind. Like, if you're stationed in Germany, pretty sure you can go out and get hammered.
Yeah, and you can go overseas while being overseas. Inside joke.
Oh, I thought you were about to say inside Germany.
Inside Germany.
That too.
Make your way for the helicopter. It's right over there.
That is Austria.
Oh yeah.
It's okay. They speak Germans. Yeah.
All right. Well, do we want to actually get into this Piers Morgan baloney?
Yes, but before that, we're gonna ask God what's gonna happen to Donald Trump. What's gonna happen to this Donald Trump case, God? We're gonna shuffle the Bible.
Are you gonna shuffle something and read it?
Yep.
All right. Let's hear it.
And because the greatness that he gave him, all peoples, nations, and languages trembled and feared before him.
You seriously just picked that?
Yep. Daniel chapter 5. Oh, wait, no. Yeah. Book of Daniel, chapter 5, verse, what was that? Shit. Yeah, Daniel chapter 5, verse 19.
That's creepy.
That's hilarious. That's a short for sure.
And that right there, my friends, is how people get assurance, because you can grab a Bible and literally point to something, and it's either going to be very positive or a lesson. And I'm not even religious. That's just scary.
Should we ask Joseph Smith too?
Yeah.
All right, Joseph Smith. What will happen in the Donald Trump case? Yea, by the power of his voice, do the foundations rock, even to the very center.
What the fuck is going on?
That is the Book of Mormon, the Book of Helaman, or Helaman, chapter 12, verse 12.
Okay.
That's hilarious.
All right, this is getting real creepy. You got the Quran? I'm just kidding.
No, I do not have the Quran.
That is...
That's hilarious.
That's not hilarious. That's scary. That's like anxiety, deja vu type shit. Not deja vu.
I'm going to put the holy books away.
That's creepy. That's almost like the third guy, or the extra player when you're playing Cards of Humanity.
Yeah, Rando
what do you call Rando?
Real weird. Rando Cardrizian, yeah, that gets real weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, the interview with with Ron DeSanctimonious.
He was asked. He goes, "How do you spell Ron DeSanctimonious?"
Yeah,
and he's like, "I don't know."
Nice. He said it's nice. It has a lot of vowels. Yeah, Stoner Bro said that was spot on. I know that was eerily spot on.
Yeah.
We might have to actually, if you ever want to ask God anything during a live broadcast, just let us know and I'll grab the old Bible.
Hey, it's gonna be, check it out. It's gonna be like when what was her name? She played God in Dogma. Alanis Morissette. When she's like, brrr, and it kills people. Imagine Trump gets in there.
Trump's gonna get up there and just go.
It kills the judge, the jury, and everybody. They just all disappear. What the hell? Don't fuck with my will.
Oh my God, that's tremendous. Yeah, so the interview, I liked seeing Ron like that, but again, my only complaint thus far not my only complaint. I have two complaints about Ron so far. One is, like I said, he's almost too political.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would just I've said this once and I'll say it again. I would more than likely vote for the politician that just got on stage and said fuck. And Trump's probably actually Trump, not as president, but I think during the campaign, Trump dropped a couple F-bombs. But I would just respect that. Because it's like, we know that's how they all talk behind closed doors. But then they get out in front of the microphones and they're like, well, we're going to talk politicianally. And we're going to use words like darn it and gosh. And it's like, no, get up there and say, God fucking damn it. I'd vote for that person. I guarantee, because that's how big boys talk.
Like they call it vain, but I'm like, when I'm saying it, I want him to damn it.
No, you misunderstand. I actually want him to damn you.
That's the thing. You know, you're walking, you step on your puppy. God damn it! I'm just kidding. Not the dog.
God could never do such a thing. Dogs don't deserve that.
No, ask John Wick. There's fucking 4 movies now because of his dead dog.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing that and it's not necessarily that I dislike it about Ron DeSantis, but I think I'm concerned, and again, some of this I have not been able to substantiate, but I think some of the things that he is doing, if these are true, they might be taking it a little too far. Specifically,
you think? Too far? No.
It depends. It depends on if these things are true or not, because I've heard somebody said, and I haven't had a chance to like really dig in and substantiate, because this kind of stuff would be harder to find. Something about how in Florida they're trying to
extradite him.
No. This doesn't have to do with Trump. This has to do with like the books. I am actually, believe it or not, people, I am actually very concerned about censorship in any form. I don't think DeSantis is doing that, though, because, like I've said so many times, and I said this on my podcast when we talked to Toast, well, Toast is like, okay, but is that a ban? A ban, at least as far as I am concerned, a ban would be the government saying you are not allowed to own, view, read, disseminate anything, this book, which in the United States you cannot do.
No.
It's like, it's against the very core of our entire Constitution. But can you eliminate something from a school library and tell teachers they are not allowed to push said book or material because it is
graphic?
How shall we say? Graphic or explicit in nature, particularly outside of the high school level. That then you're in kind of a gray area depending on the age. But certainly in elementary school and middle school in some cases, depending on what you're talking about, that's pretty. And it's regardless of sexuality at that point. I don't like, because everybody keeps talking about like drag shows for kids. By virtue of that logic, you should be able to take your kid into a strip club, and I absolutely do not think that is.
No. It'd be like, woo! Hey, buddy, check out them tassels.
It's the same thing.
I mean, they're showing them how to twerk. They're like,
that's giving what I'm saying. And
said lap dances.
You almost said lambda.
I love lamps.
I mean, but and then here's the other thing too, and this isn't so much a statement as is a question. And please, if someone cares to enlighten me, go nuts, because I genuinely do want to understand, but I think I'm right here. You cannot tell, like, honestly, you can't.
Stoner Bro said, I'll take a lamp dance. He says, no, I'm not okay with insulting Gigantus, the fire monster. I can't fucking read.
The fire monster, at least it had a good soundtrack. Wait, the beard, we both have beards.
Your beard's a little more fuller now. I shaved mine.
I need to shave mine. But anyway, where's it going with this? Oh,
I don't. George Nelson, not Babyface Nelson.
Yes. Jesus saves, but George Nelson withdraws. But in all seriousness, folks, I cannot understand why people are fighting for some of these things. Things like drag performances in front of. I can understand why you want to fight for drag performances, like the right to be able to do this thing.
Yeah.
But why in front of kids? Why? What's your end game here? Other than the only thing I can see is, I'm not even going to say grooming because it's become a buzzword, but like, you're trying to indoctrinate. You have to be.
It's 100% grooming. Like, I mean, there's like a little boy who does dances for like crowds of people, and it's like grown men, and they're clapping and throwing money on the stage.
And if this were a girl, everyone would be arrested.
Oh, everybody
Rightfully
would be up in arms. Everybody,
rightfully so. I think, well, frankly, because I know the little boy you're talking about, and I think everybody should be arrested in that result anyway. But yeah. I'm just saying, like, you want to talk about a double standard, that's one that's really going the wrong way. But and then the other part of it is, honestly, can you really say with a straight face that this is not a sexual fetish, that you don't get sexual gratification out of doing that?
We used to call them beep. P word. You can't say that anymore. But the thing is, that's what they are. They're not doing this out of, like, freedom. They're doing it out of fetish. It's disgusting.
Well, and here's the thing though, I like excluding the children, I am all for you go nuts. As long as everyone involved is of age and consenting, you do whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't care. Doesn't mean I want to watch it, but sometimes I do want to watch it. But everyone should have the freedom to make that choice for themselves.
Yeah, they're gonna bust a $3 island cooler. Water cooler. Damn it, water cooler.
And I don't understand why certain people on the left, because there are, like, don't get me wrong, there are people that are more left leaning that are looking at this and being like, nah, this isn't me. Like, I'm not standing with this.
There's a lot of them, but the thing is, they're being drowned out because they're not being held up. Like, they're only holding up the select few who are pushing this agenda. Like, everybody keeps saying agenda, and it's like if you don't see it, you're blind.
Well, but what I don't understand is what's the end game? See, like, here's the thing. The gay rights movement, totally get, because their end game made sense. We want these certain things.
You want to know what the end game is?
Thanos?
It's population control, because 2 guys cannot make a baby.
Well,
2 women cannot make a baby. It's 100% population control. They couldn't do it with food. I mean, they're trying to do it with food, and because if you think about it, our lives started expanding past a certain amount, because what was the average age in like the 50s? Like, it was like 55, barely 60. Now the average age life expectancy is like 67. I mean,
it's higher than that, but
no, it's only 67, like the national average. But
well, I don't.
There are certain people who live longer. I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying
I think the problem I have with that life expectancy average is it also includes accidents, stillborn deaths, infant mortality in general. So the numbers are skewed heavily.
Well, regardless, life expectancy has gone up. So therefore, like, it was either we were getting healthier, or viruses and whatnot weren't affecting us as much anymore. Well, I'm sorry, they are now, man-made ones. But anyway, so, how the hell can all this equate to anything? It's population control at its finest. Because the thing is,
I actually
have
read
too many people. It's hard to control.
Well, I read a really fascinating theory that part of the reason why, and don't get me wrong, I think there is legitimately some element of social contagion.
Listen here.
One of you has some more healthy beer than the other.
Wolverine over here. You're gonna have to fucking give him his due.
Fuck off. Shit. Oh, I'd read a really interesting study, and it was one study, so don't take this. But it's funny because I've kind of thought about this on my own, that I think there has been, to a certain extent, a legitimate uptick of percentages of populations that are, like, in fact, born gay. And I think that is a natural population control. And I think that can have a genetic element to it because human beings evolve. And as the population gets bigger, that drive to procreate may not necessarily be evolutionarily. It's certainly not evolutionarily as essential as it once was. So the article was essentially making the point that you're going to see a steady rise in people that are homosexual, and that is why they sort of theorize, certain people theorize, that the population of planet Earth will equalize at about 10 billion.
I can agree with that, but at the same time, think about this, and this is kind of two different kind of things. Someone wants to call. Your mom goes to college. But no. So think about this. In the 50s and the 40s, you're seeing pictures and videos of people at the beach. I'm talking hundreds of thousands of people, not 100,000, but like lots of people. Where were the fat people? Chemicals came about.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is, and people literally can't get off this food that they're eating, the processed foods and whatnot, and they're getting fat because of it. Like, we love Coke from McDonald's, but it's got high fructose corn syrup in it, and it's not necessarily corn fructose. What is it? Is it fructose? Well, whatever. Anyway, so basically
it's one of them sugars.
It's just bad for you. Real sugar, while it's bad for you, is not as bad for you as that.
We have too much real sugar and fake sugar.
Yeah, like
and
they
shit.
add corn syrup and sugar, and then it's just like that's why it's like so delicious, you know. But the thing is, your brain. I'm telling you what, I detoxed off of all this stuff. It took me a total of about 12 to 13 days, and I've noticed when I actually eat sugar now and whatnot, dude, I get a headache.
Yeah.
It's horrible. It sucks. But I'm just like I can't. I tried to drink a Sprite, and it tasted
Ooh.
like absolute dog shit after I
Oh man,
detoxed.
you had that one taco and you were like, I'm done. But you know what you'll never need to detox from ever?
Candles.
Stevie Wicks Cool Beans candles. And you know why? Because they're made from all natural soy wax. And I know soy is normally bad, but guess what? You're not drinking these candles, you're just smelling them. So it's not going to affect your testosterone. In fact, you know, there are some unconfirmed studies that say it might actually increase your testosterone. I'm not saying it will, but you never know, right? It's certainly not going to hurt you. And you can get your spring on with the new spring line of candles, one of which you can see here, Jelly Bean, which is awesome because it actually smells like jelly beans. And that's an interesting thing because I hate the smell of jelly bean. I mean, I hate the taste of jelly beans, but I like the smell. So this is perfect for me. And guess what, Eric? If you want to get your spring candles, you can save money while doing so by using the promo code AIP and get 10% off your order at checkout, off of your entire order.
Holy candles. Holy
So
candles, Colin.
go to steviewicks.com. That STEVIE. I almost said STD. STEVIEWIX.com. Use promo code AIP. Get 10% off your candles and smell fantastic.
Almost as good as Dr. Squatch, if not better. I'm just kidding.
Dude, I'm gonna level with you. Dr. Squatch sucks.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. I got some stuff. I actually like the stuff that you got me, the Tyler Durden. Man, that
Yeah,
shit smelled so good. I need to
the
get some.
Tactical Soap Company, or I think they're going by Grondike now. That soap's way better, dude. I like the way some of the Dr. Squatch stuff smells, but I'll tell you what, the soap just doesn't hold together like the Grondike does. And it sounds like we're doing another commercial. Grondike,
Hey,
hook a brother up with a sponsor because I actually use your product.
listen here,
Dude,
Harry's.
Fuck you.
I already used theirs.
Do you?
Oh yeah, it's simple. It's simple stuff. It doesn't help like razor burn or anything like that. It's just they're just simple razors and like they work. They work well, but I
Yeah.
have to lather up before I do because my neck breaks out like crazy.
Yeah, no, mine does too. That's why I don't straight shave anymore.
That's
Although I
why you
guess I
go with the
could.
neck beard.
Well, I trim the neck beard,
I
but that's what I say.
know.
I need to shave. But
We were on podcast one time and someone was like, "The guy with the neck beard's right."
listen, when it grows, man, like it grows.
The
What can I
knowledge
say?
just comes out.
Well, no, what I would say to anybody who ever mentions my neck beard, be like, okay, at least I have one. What's your excuse?
Dude, I couldn't even grow facial hair until I was like 22.
But no, but legitimately, like I get
Meanwhile,
complimented.
sweater over here. Anyway, go ahead.
It's bad. It's real bad. You should see. It looks like I'm wearing a fucking. Well, it looks like I'm wearing a sweater when I get out of the pool.
Dude, we go to Kings Island and literally he takes his shirt off and there's just kids in the pool like, Wolverine!
It's a Sasquatch. But
Dr. Squatch.
yeah, no, I get complimented on my scent fairly
okay.
often. Stoner college is called separate from reality these days. Yeah, dude, I'm so glad I'm not in college right now.
College has changed a lot. Like, I mean, I know it's always been mostly left leaning, but definitely has changed a lot.
There's left leaning and then there's left
left
indoctrination.
leaning back in the day, they used to believe in freedom of speech and they used to believe in like creative thinking. And now it's like if you don't think my way, you're wrong.
But I think a key ingredient to those things being virtuous is also recognizing that there's an objective reality to a certain extent. Like you can have differing opinions, but you have to at least agree on some of the basic things, i.e., up is up, down is down, 1 + 1 = 2. You know,
2 genders.
I mean, that's part of it. Like I said, I've gone into detail about how I think we've created 2 more, but they're artificial.
When we speak genders, we speaking by biological genders, not ones we
I,
created.
I don't even play that game because I consider them one and the same. But essentially,
No, I don't play that game.
Well, I'll give you the condensed version of that video, which is on Rumble, by the way. So you should check out our Rumble too, because we put stuff on Rumble that we can't put on YouTube because we know it'll get flagged. Essentially, what I was saying is that there are two binary genders for the human species, those male and female. But we have, through medical technology advancement, we have created two synthetic genders, that being transgender male and transgender female, which you take the biological sex of someone and change the outward appearance to reflect the opposite gender. But internally, you are still this thing.
Hey, I have a lot of bot followers on Twitter. I seriously, every other day I'm getting followed by a cam girl, and I'm just like,
me too.
I'm just like, no.
It's just, I mean, you can follow me.
I allow it to be I allow myself to be followed, but at the same time, I'm just like, and then like Elon or whoever deletes their accounts, and I lose followers. I'll lose like 10 in a day, and then 10 more will come. I'm like, I'm not subscribing to your fucking only weenies.
So, by the way, speaking of subscribers, y'all need to subscribe more. And I feel like we got off topic way from. Well, no, not really.
No, we stayed somewhat.
Yeah, because we were talking about the DeSantis interview, which I thought was tremendous. We both agreed.
Oh yeah, it was absolutely and that's fantastic. Really,
I figured before, and now I'm certain of it. If DeSantis ends up going against Biden, he's gonna mop the floor with him.
DeSantis did say he does not want to go up against Trump.
I don't blame him.
But the thing is, I don't think it's because he's afraid of not winning against him. He doesn't want to make an enemy out of him. And Trump, if you're not in his camp, you're an enemy.
Well, and I also think,
and that's why he started attacking him. Go ahead, sorry.
Well, and this is what I was just saying. This is. DeSantis is smart, like really smart, because you notice that he hasn't announced that
didn't he go to Yale and Harvard?
Yeah, Yale, and I love. I've heard him say this. I've heard him say this more than once. He's like, I think I might be the only person that went to Yale and Harvard and came out more conservative than when I went in.
Yeah, and then he became a Navy fighter.
Yeah.
So or whatever.
He was in JAG, so he was I mean, like obviously,
and he did that of his own. Like he literally went to college first and then joined the Navy.
Yeah, exactly.
Out of Yale and Harvard.
He did a fireside chat with Ben Shapiro, and Ben, it was funny. He was like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you and I are the least two. We're the two alumni that Yale and Harvard are. I'm sorry, that I believe it was Harvard that Ben went to. That Harvard Law are not proud of at all."
Yeah, they're super famous, and they're getting shit. Well, attempting to get shit done, and yet we hate them. Why? Because of what they say.
Well, and that's what I really want to. So actually, this is a perfect opportunity to try this. I want to legitimately speak to on the RTA podcast or here, whichever you prefer. I really do want to speak to someone who is like a super left-leaning person because I want to try to understand. But I think I know how that conversation is going to happen. It's like, well, Trump is a fascist. Okay.
Explain why.
Yeah, explain why.
Well, first of all, just like you did with Brittany and your other podcasts, you need to define terms and stick by those terms.
100%. That's where most people get into trouble.
People get in trouble because they don't stick to what the definition is. They want to keep changing it and moving the goalpost.
Yeah, it's like no. If this is like, first of all, which I don't think most people would get past the first goal. It's like, okay, what is a fascist to you? What is a fascist? I'll even go with your definition. But if it's too broad, I'm going to call you out on it. Mm-hmm. Because if a fascist is just someone who disagrees with you, that's way too broad.
That's 99% of anyone you talk to.
Yeah.
Because you have an exact opinion, and someone's not going to have that exact opinion, even if it's similar in nature.
Yeah, but I really want to do that, and I really want to do that. So if you're watching this podcast and you think that we're just a bunch of fucking idiots,
prove us.
Talk to us.
Wrong. That would actually be fun.
Imagine thinking you're a good person for your opinions. That's college today.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Well, and that's so. Oh, I remember something I did want to touch on talking about Nashville again. I don't want to dwell on this,
on that the college thing. So people in college, the problem is their professors are so inclusive now that they actually believe their opinions matter.
Well, why. And this, I think this is everyone to a certain extent in college, especially when you're younger. Maybe if you're older and going back, this doesn't really happen. But I was thinking about this the other day because, oh God, I see some in my memories on Facebook. I see some of my old posts, and I'm just looking. I'm like, God damn, I can't believe I said that. Like, it's not even so much what I was saying; it's just how I was saying it. Because it was like, oh, you're so pretentious. And it's like, when you're in college, you are learning a bunch of really new, complicated shit, and you're understanding it, but you don't yet have the tools to, and you should be learning the tools to do this, but you don't really have the tools to look at everything that you're seeing and think critically and be like, is this really legit? It might be, but you need to have the tools to think critically about everything. But I realized that the average college student, I would say, is plenty book smart. They have intelligence, but what they lack is wisdom. So you can have the information, but you're not yet wise enough to know what to do with it. And that was totally me.
The problem is they're being taught by people who have also been taught a certain way, basically how to think.
To a certain extent.
Well, it seems like they have free thought and whatnot, but all they really do is, all I've ever seen on these little clips and whatnot, all they ever do is just repeat what they've heard.
Well,
and
right.
Don't get me wrong. I've done that before.
Essentially, yeah.
But
that's essentially what I'm saying. That's essentially what I'm saying, though, because that ties into what that you actually said it better than I did. So when you're in college and when you're really young, like you're talking 18 to 20. For the most part here. Yeah, 18 to 20.
If you're watching the video, guys, if you enjoy the content, please leave us a like and consider subscribing.
Subscribe and share it and all that jazz. And if you want to make shorts content out of it, go nuts. Just make sure to tag us in them.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You can even call us idiots.
Yeah, go for it. I mean, we'll retort, but go for it.
Yes, we will.
So, but you actually said it better than I did, where they're just parroting. And that's what I realized I was doing back then. Oh, thank you. I just saw it. But that's what you're doing. You thought, oh, that resonates with me, so I'm going to just say that. And I mean, we all parrot to a certain extent, but to me, it seems like when you get older, you parrot because you're like, damn, they said that really well. Like, I believe that. I've already thought that in another way, but the way you said it is just fantastic, because I parrot a lot of Jordan Peterson. But I think when you get truly wise, when you parrot something, you say, Jordan Peterson said this, or Ben Shapiro said that, or Aristotle. Or Aristotle said this, and you understand as you get a little bit older that not everybody's perfect. Like I love Jordan Peterson, but some of the shit he says, I'm like, some of it, I'm not on board.
Right.
But oh God, I'd love to sit down and talk to that man.
The opposite though of him, like as an example of what you were talking about before, parroting, Greta Thunberg.
Oh, 100%.
Greta Thunberg. How do you say it?
And the. Which I think now, I'm pretty sure it was all a troll now. But initially, when I saw the Bill Clinton kid, we were like, oh, this kid's just parroting. But now I think I've seen enough of what he's doing.
They are trying to drain him. Not drain him, but like they're trying adrenochrome. No, they're trying to milk him for all he's worth right now. Like literally, I'm seeing tons of more shorts with him on YouTube and whatnot, and I'm like, give it up. I was like, the kid was entertaining when he was beaten down mentally on some OnlyFans girls, but I mean, it was only funny for so long, and then afterwards, it just wasn't very funny anymore.
Well, and when I thought of a better way to say what I was trying to say, which, oh, by the way, I'm such a simp.
Yeah, you are.
I'm such a simp. Didn't even know what that girl's name was, but I'm such a simp. But anyway, the only thing about that, and I think again this comes with wisdom versus knowledge, is once you reach a certain point mentally, when you become a little bit wiser than you are knowledgeable, you understand that as intelligent as you may be, there's always somebody who's smarter than you. So you got to be careful when you intellectually bully people. Like, and I get it, they were doing it for the lulz, but you got to be real careful, man, because if you get in there with a contender, they're going to eviscerate you.
Super simp, get the cape.
I love that. That might be my Halloween costume. I'm gonna learn how to do like the hidden flower.
Oh, super simp.
I'm gonna learn how to do like the hidden flowers thing where you hide it in your sleeve. Just
All right.
every girl just gets a flower.
Halloween is a long time away, so we've got some time. We need to make a video, and either you film or I film, or we get a filmer. I'm pretty sure we could probably get my brother to come with us and film. But, dude, we could literally dress up in capes as super simps and then literally just go around and asking, do you have an OnlyFans? Can we subscribe to it? Or something like that.
Love that. Dude, I love that. So one of the things I'm very proud of that we do on this podcast is whenever any...
Big 6'3" guy
Excuse me, can I subscribe to your OnlyFans?
Subscribe to mine!
And then if they say no, you're like, I guess you're not a feminist.
You don't want to take my money?
But one of the things I'm very proud of is anytime somebody insults us or something bad happens, we pretty consistently turn it into a joke. Because at the end of the day, I don't care. And I think the advantage we have over a lot of other people in the space is like, we just don't give a shit.
To grow up with our friend group, you had to be very quick-witted.
Well, it's not even that. It's like, okay, yeah, I love it when people call me a virgin.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, if you
definitely.
What is Ron Swanson's? What's your sexual history, Ron? Epic and private. Oh yeah, but if you only knew, fuckers. And I think my favorite one though was when somebody said that you were in your mom's basement, and I'm like, if you only knew that he bought that house with fucking crypto money for the most part, like, you stupid fucks. His kryptonite is red. Oh, yes.
All right. Where's the Sharpie? I'm writing this one down. We're not forgetting.
That's awesome. So should we both be super simp, or should we do like super simp?
Oh, super simp. Oh, dude, I don't know about cuck boy. I couldn't do that.
I know, right? That's too far even for that joke.
All right, we got super simp.
Super
Credit goes to username. People are like, who's that? Like, this guy or girl. You've never really told us who you are, which is okay.
We don't want to misgender you.
Don't want to close my eyes. Oh, sorry. So super simp. His kryptonite is red pill. That is awesome.
That's awesome.
All right.
Wait, who should his nemesis be? Oh, his nemesis should be Giga Chad.
Oh. All right. Who is Super Sim's
sidekick?
Sidekick. Yeah. Come on, guys. In the comments. Who is the sidekick of Super Simp? And then also, we got to know who, like you said, Giga Chad. Who's the super villain?
Giga Chad is his nemesis.
Giga Chad?
That or actually, you know what? We could try to get Andrew Tate's attention with that. Andrew Tate can be his nemesis.
Yep. See, look, that's it. We're gonna use easy mode right now.
But Giga Chad is the elusive villain whose identity we don't know. Actually, we can reveal.
Dude, no.
Tate is Giga
it's
Chad.
Andrew Tate with one of those chin masks. We'd have to get a bald person.
We are legit gonna need to find somebody who's like jacked and bald and looks good in sunglasses.
And can do a very good accent.
Oh my god.
Dude, we've had 19 views on this shit.
This is so stupidly funny. I love it. I'll do it. I have no shame whatsoever. So
we gotta. You know what? I'm gonna write. I've got plenty of time. I'm gonna write you a theme song.
Super Sam, fuck yeah, dude. If that takes off, we can go to rallies and shit.
Listen, guys. If this works and we get rich off this, we will never forget you.
We will never forget you. You'll get a t-shirt. We got to make a Super Sim t-shirt.
If Tate ends up knocking on our front door, I heard you were talking about me. I fucking loved it.
It's like, fuck yeah, bro. Oh, dude, I would kill to have Andrew Tate on our podcast one day. That shit's will be funny as fuck.
I'm going to have to actually get an office eventually or transfer. I don't think he's going to just come to a house.
He's done Zoom meetings before.
Oh, yeah. See, look, I'm thinking way too big.
No, but
Zoom is
like,
not as personal.
I agree. And to be totally real, though, I still maintain what I said. I don't think I would hate the guy, but I don't think because his lifestyle is just not really my thing. Now, maybe I'm saying that because I haven't lived it. That's totally a possibility. I just don't think that I would vibe well with him.
I think you'd be surprised because for the most part, I knew Sosa was on there. Oh yeah, that's way too big. That's what she said. Just kidding. She's never said that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm a super simp. Super simp.
Oh, super simp and fanboy.
There we go. See, there we go. Fanboy.
But to make it funny, we have to alternate because I'll be fanboy sometimes, but I want to be super simp a couple times too.
Oh, dude, like fanboy is gonna have to be like, I don't know. Oh, dude, your badass feminist shirt.
Oh no, dude! Like we'll make we're gonna put something into this.
Some money. Just kidding.
No, man, I'm talking costumes and T-shirts. Like this will become a thing. I'm going to have a chat with the graphics person.
All right, there we go. It's over.
It's going to be a very, very awkward conversation. Just be like, listen, I need you to make a Superman logo ripoff, but the superhero name is Super Simp, and the colors. I don't know what the colors should be.
Dude, hold on.
I mean, I'm thinking they should probably be OnlyFans colors, right? But that would be fanboy, wouldn't it? And the best part is we're talking about it now, so technically we've copyrighted it already. Super simp. And all this stemmed from a comment on a short.
Oh.
Yes!
Hold on. Damn it. Come on now.
I know what that
is.
Hold
on. Let me turn off my background.
But you have to do two of them that like overlap each other.
All right, hold on. We're going to get there. Chat roulette colors thing.
Yes!
Yeah, pretty much. I haven't got my my background up. Like, see in his background, the RIT Media. Mine is the big chimp.
Oh, by the way, welcome, Jeremy. Have you been on a stream before? I can't recall.
Yeah, thanks for commenting.
Chat roulette. Oh, that's fucking awesome.
All right, no.
This is tremendous. Or no, you know what? It should be it should be dollar signs.
Man, I wish I could get it to like something else. I got to go back to the beach.
Nah, okay. I didn't think I'd seen you, but welcome, Jeremy. Well, and we apologize in advance for disappointing you.
We're only entertaining none times.
I don't know. Actually, to be fair, and Toast actually said this, which was a huge compliment. He said we've had more than one person say that we were very entertaining, which I mean that just means the world to me because we started doing this just to crack each other up.
Pretty much, yeah. In my other garage, and then I moved to another garage. I only live in a garage. No, I'm just kidding. And then built my office in here, so
it's a pretty sweet office. Oh, speaking of which, the new wall art will be here in a couple of weeks for the, and it's going to be this size. I don't know what the actual size is, but it's going to be the same size as this.
No more chat roulette. No more hitting the next person as some dude jerking off.
I'm telling you, man, this is great. We got to have this figured out by Halloween, though. But I think
we got it. And I've already got a logo. I'm working on it, and it's going to have to the last three letters. I'm going to try to like get SJW somehow in this.
No, but
that's what the J's for. That's what the J's for. Because if you turn the simp, the W upside down. And when they say, "Oh no, that's not swimp," or however you pronounce that, I'd be like, "No, that W identifies as an M."
Or that you can say the W is silent.
Yeah, sip.
Well, no, just like because it's a W is like a woman.
No.
The W is silent.
There to be seen and not heard. Oh,
This
shit.
this could be fucking epic.
I think it's going to have to happen.
You watch. That's going to be what takes off.
We're going to have to get a couple other people dressed up as Trump and DeSantis and whatnot. They're just going to be chasing behind us. Get back here.
I take out my handcuffs to make an arrest and end up handcuffed myself.
Yes, social justice warrior. Oh, their superpower. Nope. Social justice warriors, unite!
And then nobody shows up. But
there's fire in the background. It's mostly peaceful.
The crest should just be $2 S's though, like on the chest.
Oh, here, I got it. No. Oh, I've got
it. Now we have officially devolved. That's okay though. Half the fun of this podcast is you never know what you're gonna get. It's like a box of chocolates. Speaking of chocolates, though, I've got a bone to pick with Jeremy's chocolate because I had this whole joke set up where I was going to surprise you with some of the Jeremy's chocolate bars, the she/her bars.
Oh, yeah, that aren't out.
Not until May, bastards. So we're going to make a video to review them if we don't do it live on a podcast. And I have a feeling, I know that chocolate's going to taste like shit. And I'm going to be all kinds of mad about it.
Keep going. I'm working on this logo real quick.
He's drawing the Super Simp logo. I just love the fact that stemmed from a comment, and I just decided to get in on the joke. For those of you who don't know, I was giving the Nathan Books kid a hard time in a short, and everybody came to the kid's defense. They were like, yeah, but they were hookers, blah, 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 blah. And then somebody called me a simp. Actually, 2 people called me a simp. So I thought it would be funny. Instead of arguing, I commented myself and said, what a simp.
All right. I'm going to turn
because I wanted to see how many people would like the comment, not knowing that I was the person in the video.
Can you see that? Super simp.
Oh my God.
No, that's not good enough. I'm still working on it. I write like a 12-year-old still.
And then we finally upgrade our power and we get all the way up to Super Simp and Blue.
Oh shit! Just to piss someone else off.
No,
I can't stand that they're changing their hair color. Oh, they're changing their hair color. Sans are liberal.
Super Simp and Blue, though, that's what happens when we subscribe to our OnlyFans.
Oh, dude.
And we have blue hair.
Super Simp has a cape. No, Super Simp has a cape, but he has transformations and the hair's change color.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But Super Simp and Blue is the ultimate because that's when we buy their OnlyFans.
Andrew Tate can be the villain. Oh, he will. Yeah, Lex Luthor.
But that's the secret. That's the secret identity of Giga Chad, though.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, is Andrew Tate not the ultimate Giga Chad?
That's the thing, though. Like, we know our arch nemesis is Giga Chad, but we don't know who he is.
Dude, I was so mad when people started using Bring Me the Horizon to do that. And I didn't understand what Giga Chad was. And then it was like just a big jawed, like, masculine man. I'm like, oh. So that's kind of like, well, what do they call Christian Bale when he's doing his thing? When he's just like,
I don't
punch
know.
people. I can't stand that shit. Jeremy says, sounds like you made them in high school, perfect to represent being stuck in an adolescent mind. Great talent. Thank you.
Is that sarcasm or?
It is.
I thought so.
Adolescent mind. Hey, perfect. Are you left-leaning, Jeremy? We would like to talk to you. Which?
Oh no, I don't think so.
I don't know. Like,
I think he's.
I might be reading it wrong. I might be reading.
I don't mean to speak for you. SS. Oh no, he's talking about the S's that you drew. Okay,
dude. Like I said, I write like a 12th grader. I write like a 12-year-old. My wife's always just like, "Give me the damn thing. I'm gonna sign it."
I write like a 12th grader.
Yeah, I said that, and I was like, you know what? I did write better as a 12th grader, and then as I stopped writing, I stopped caring. Dude, when I sign, it's like a doctor signature. I was gonna say it's a dick.
It's a dick. Yeah, dude, I know. I feel your pain. It's bad. Yeah, we figured it out right there at the end. Jeremy is like, I don't think he's anti what we're doing. We're just having a good time.
Yes, but I'm telling you though, like the
I'm
super
only
simp is just that's an incredible character.
That's awesome. I'm only partially annoyed that we have 9 people watching right now, and we're not even talking about anything serious. We're talking about
27. We've had 27 views, so people are clicking off and on. So they're probably like, these guys suck.
These guys are awful.
You know how it is, like how who was it when Andrew Tate was on Piers Morgan, and he was like, dude, you're literally taking one sentence from a soundbite that I said, and he's like, you need to watch a 2-hour long format to get my whole stand.
You need to watch all my long form content.
Because unfortunately, like people's attention spans, as you can see, you know, they go. You know, it doesn't last very long.
That's why we give them shorts.
That's why we tell them to buy hymns. You know, he'll last longer. Hit us up, him. Or her.
We could have sold so many. We could have sold so many products tonight.
Dude, listen, and that's the thing. We're salesmen.
We're gonna start making. We need an illustrator for the Super Simp comic.
Yes. I don't have anything else to add. Yes.
Actually, legitimately, because we do have a website,
and we could
make a webcomic out of it. It's just I can't draw for shit, so.
I used to be able to.
I never could.
I'm telling you though, man, to this day, do you remember the drawing I did of Lord Slug's cover? And I could not find it. That was hands down one of the best drawings I've ever done in my entire life. Even the shading was on a point. I have no idea how to shade. That cover was amazing. And I just blew it up on a big sheet of paper. And I lost it.
So yeah, that DeSantis interview.
Oh yeah, the DeSantis interview was well. How about we talked a little bit about the DeSantis interview. Let's talk about the Trump interview. How bad that was. How many times Piers kept talking over Trump, and he's like, "Hold on a second, this is very intricate," or something like that. But I don't know. I'm still stuck on Super Simp.
I know. I can't let it go.
Well, Top G is free. Did we talk about that already?
Yes, we did. We did.
Can't believe he's house arrest.
Which I'm very excited to see more Take Confidential because, and this makes me sound goofy, but I don't know why. You were there because I showed you the episode. There was an episode of Take Confidential, for those who aren't aware of what I'm talking about, where they're in Dubai, and he's going there to pick up a custom-made emerald watch that he bought. And I don't know what it was about this episode, but like it was extremely motivating to me, and it kind of pissed me off a little bit because I realized these guys are sitting somewhere in Dubai in an office picking up a custom one-of-a-kind watch. And I'm not a watch guy, but this thing was fucking beautiful. It's like 2 p.m., and I realized these guys can fuck off and do whatever the fuck they want. And at 2 p.m., I know where I am every day for the most part. And it pissed me off.
That's the liberal in you.
No, it didn't piss me off because I resented it. It pissed me off because I'm like,
to aspire to be like that.
I want that to be me. And believe it or not, I'm going to tie this into Nashville, which I meant to do earlier. And then you said Super Simp, and we just got
okay.
So what nobody's to, well, not nobody, because I'm sure Jordan Peterson has said this because he says it a lot. Are we really going to pretend like resentment was not, like this is all resentment?
You're speaking of the Nashville thing?
Yeah, that's all this is. There's no way you can convince me it was anything else. It's not bigotry. It's not this, that, and the other. It's this person being mad that their life isn't what they want it to do, but I'm willing to bet they were probably unwilling to make changes to make their life what they wanted it to be because it was hard and because other people have this and I want it, and if I don't have it, then it's got to be their fault. It can't possibly be my fault.
That's a problem.
So what are you going to do? Yeah, it's resentment's a huge problem, and I think it motivates a vast majority of the left. It's not that people actually think these things are wrong. It's just they don't have it.
Yeah, we're not saying the right doesn't have its problems.
Oh no, it absolutely does. But in terms of resentment, I think the left's got a pretty close to a monopoly on that because let's be real here. A lot of people on the left are actual millionaires, sometimes even billionaires.
How the
But there's a lot
hell?
of,
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, but there's a lot of people on the left that wish they were billionaires. And because they're not billionaires, they're mad about it. And instead of looking at themselves and being like, how can I get here?
Speaking of popular Democrats being millionaires, have you Googled AOC's net worth?
Not recently, no.
Someone told me she makes like $175,000 a year or something like that, how much ever they make. And somewhere I heard it was like her net worth was like well over 20 some $1 million already. Now I
According,
can't verify this. Now this is just what I heard, and you know I was wanting to fact check it live on here, and I can't find anything that's backing it up. They're all saying her net worth is $200,000. So that means she's making $200,000 a year and has an apartment. So therefore, she probably doesn't have any assets that are gaining wealth.
yeah, now according to Yahoo Finance, she's worth about $200,000, which that
You ever heard of Fenty.com?
no.
They are saying Alexandria Ocasio Cortez net worth is $500,000, and that they are saying that is September 20th, 2022, which makes sense if you think about it, because what she's been in office for 3, 4 years now, four or five.
Yeah, hang on.
Bitch was born in '89.
Okay, so apparently, in her most recent financial disclosure, which was filed in 2021, it shows her assets.
Hmm.
Um, well, geez, that's not very. So essentially, she has a 401k plus her salary, but she has some student loan debt, and her car is a lease, I believe. So that's technically not an asset. So yeah, she's probably worth about 200k. That's that seems right.
We got a comment that says, "Who is a better president, Reagan or Trump?" And Jeremy responded to Alberto as JFK. Hey, JFK was for smaller government. I was all for him. That was like one of the first Democrats to advocate for smaller government,
Ooh,
and that's why he was
Alberto.
taken out.
Alberto, I'm gonna.
Reagan or Trump?
I can't. I can't really answer that question because it's not a fair comparison. Because if you look at what Reagan was dealing with, I would probably say Reagan, but Reagan was
On a presidential level, definitely Reagan.
well,
But
yeah, yeah.
on like feats, Trump.
No, that's
You
Reagan's.
think even or better?
Well, Reagan. I'm not going to say it was all Reagan's fault, but the Cold War. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
well, it didn't end, but I mean it.
yeah.
And I mean,
I'm not gonna say Trump either. I don't know enough to give an educated answer because I'm not educated on it. He is ish.
I would say Reagan, but not to take any away from Trump. I just think that that's kind of like asking who's a better president, George Washington or uh, um, John Quincy. That's not a good comparison. It's kind of like, sorry, I was about to go somewhere. And I'm like, wait, no, that's terrible. It's okay. So it's
George
kind of like
Washington
asking.
versus Lincoln.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, it's like, well, it's kind of hard to say, because they're so different, but they're
Because
both.
they were dealing with different things at different time eras, so
Yeah,
you
it's
can't
hard to
give an
say.
accurate answer, but like just let's ballpark it.
I'd
You're
say
you,
Reagan, but
there you go. Thoughts on Reagan giving millions of immigrants amnesty?
So Alberto, I'm not sure what side of that issue you're on, but I don't know if I've said it on the
What year
podcast.
was Reagan's presidency?
It was in the 80s. I know that.
Okay,
Once
so
again, I'm
well
trying
into
to
our manufacturing days. So therefore, um, because the initial immigration move was specifically
81 to 89.
yeah. So yeah, the original immigration move was for to help with manufacturing because we were in wars. I'm not saying we've never taken in people. That's fact. You can look that up.
Good job. No,
oh, I know he's like, you listened in history class. Oh my gosh,
it's like fantastic. But no, Alberto, to kind of sort of continue what I was going to say. I don't know what side of the issue you fall on, but to me, if I were president or able to enact a change, my solution to it would honestly be, part of the solution would be, because I'd meet in the middle. I would say part of my immigration reform would be a lot of give and take. One of those things would be the border wall would be completed, but also anyone who is here currently, I think you have to grant amnesty to people who are already here. And one of the biggest criticisms, actually the only criticism I had of DACA, was that it wasn't enough, because it's a bullshit, kick the can down the road solution. It didn't actually solve the problem. I mean, deferred action is in the name. So if you had something like DACA and then it gets revoked, so somebody got 2 extra years and then they still have to go back, that's bullshit. But then also, one of the other give and takes is it's got to be easier to come here legally, because one big problem that hardly anybody talks about is how fucking difficult it is and how long it takes.
More judges, more judges, more judges.
Well, not only that, just the standards, because
and the processing, isn't there a way we can streamline this? That's a thing. You were talking about DACA. If they have jobs and they are proven to be like a good thing for the economy and community that they're in, why not just allow them an extension on their visa, fine them, and then allow them to stay? But if they have a criminal record that they got here while they were here, that's the people you remove. How hard is it?
The problem with that? It just makes too much damn sense.
I know, it's like everyone assumes the conservatives, which I don't think either of us truly represent conservatism. I think we're way too all over. And that's a problem people have, is they think that if you're left or right or anything or whatever, you have to think a certain way. Fuck that shit.
No.
Just think what you want. And if people don't like your opinion, so what? But the thing is, you don't have to talk to those people.
No. Not unless you're in Congress, and in which case that's your fault for being there.
Yeah, right. Service guarantees citizenship.
Oh, Jeremy, you're getting way too Starship Troopers for me, my friend.
Oh, are you talking about military service?
Well, I think if he's referencing Starship Troopers, I think he is. Which, if he's not, that's hilarious, because that's their whole thing. It's not just military service, but that's the big one. The only problem with service guaranteeing citizenship is it somewhat goes against the concept of inalienable rights that the United States was founded upon. That's my only... I understand why that could be considered a very good thing. I totally get that, but you have to be careful how far you take that. Now, if what you mean is that, for example, if you have someone who came into the country legally or illegally, but they're not a citizen yet, part of their military service gets them citizenship, I wouldn't be opposed to something like that.
Here, let me add on to that. How about the service, while they're in the service, they're, the fees and whatnot when they come through the port of entry and, and they try to get citizenship. It's essentially like the service gets them fast tracked to citizenship, but they still have to take the classes. They still have to pass the tests. All what becoming a citizen they have to pass. Why can't they just do that while they're serving in the military if they want to go that route? You don't have to be forced to go that route. But the thing is,
I wouldn't be opposed to that, but it's funny you mentioned that, because
you can live in this society, you just can't vote.
Yeah, see, I don't know, man. That to me is
if you become a citizen, though, that should be your right. But if you're saying American-born citizens have the right to vote and then non-American-born citizens, that's slippery slope, because then people are going to be like, oh, that's racist. But, it's not, because I don't know. That's a tough one to unpack.
Well, the problem. Okay, so I'm gonna preface with, this is a stretch, okay, but I'm gonna lay out how that could be a potential problem. So let's say that system is in place, that in order to vote, you have to have done not even just military service, but you have to have done some sort of civic service. Over time, there are going to be, particularly probably in the military, there's going to be hierarchy. So let's say that in order to even qualify to be in the military, you have to meet certain standards that may or may not be correct. Let's say that, I don't know, maybe in order to even serve in the military, you have to have been born in the United States. Well, right out of the gate, that's problematic on its face, because like you said, even if it's not racist in its intention, it could become racist very quickly.
That is what you would call actual systemic racism.
That would be an example of systemic racism, yes.
You can't find that shit nowhere these days. And, if that were to come about, that would absolutely be systemic.
Yeah, so that's part of the problem. And what I'm really driving more at is, okay, so if you have to have military service to vote, then all of a sudden the military runs the country because only people who have been in the military can vote. And you see that happen. Have you seen Starship Troopers? I don't know if you have.
A long time ago. I watched it with you. Remember we went to a Comic-Con?
Oh, yeah. No, we didn't. That wasn't me.
No. Didn't I get you something from there? I went to one. And I think I got you... No. It wasn't not Starship Troopers. It was... what's that? Oh, the pain.
Oh, that was Lost in Space.
But I didn't get you something from that. It was... I can't remember. It's been a long time. Anyway. If it affects all newcomers... There is no unjust discrimination. Any civic service has value to society, not only military. I absolutely agree.
Yeah, but in terms of that being a requirement to vote, so it's interesting that you mentioned, Eric, the fast track to citizenship through the military, because during the Civil War, when we also were having the influx of Irish immigrants, a lot of Irish immigrants, well, no, a lot of them did, because the military was a fast track to citizenship and a surefire way to, basically they got a job, 3 square meals a day and clothes right off the boat.
See, that's the thing. And I was going to make this point earlier and you just sparked it in my brain. So they've got a job starting out immediately with pay. So therefore they're already making money they can send back home if that's, if that's what they're going for, or they're coming to find a new life here. So therefore they're already starting with a job. And so once they get out of the military, they can find a job easier with the experience they learned in the military, depending on what kind of job they do. So therefore, when they get out of the military, they can have a job and become a productive member of society, versus coming in illegally and then having to rob and steal to make your cut, or work under, without taxes or whatnot, like the illegal way, whatever you want to call it. So I think that would truly be a win-win.
Yeah, no, I think
I'm not saying it wouldn't have its issues, but I'm just saying, like,
well, but the secret to that, I think, is that it's an option, not a requirement.
Right. And they don't even have to be like the ones out on front lines. They don't have to be doing that. There are plenty services in there, like where they need cooks, they need janitorial services to clean up and whatnot. I'm not saying they have to do that stuff, but if that's, because that's really sounding racist right now. It's not mean in that way. I'm just saying.
It's unintentionally.
It's still
racist.
A job, and they're still getting paid. So I'm just saying. That's a good point, though. All right, Alberto said it might have been 86, but I agree. Someone that's been here more than 25 years should have a path to citizenship and charge thousands of dollars, X millions. Do the math. It will boost the economy.
Yeah, 100%. And so, like what I was saying, though, I think part of if I were president tomorrow or I had the ability to, enact the reforms that I thought would be, like, you got to be able to get a work permit faster, because the story I was about to tell, this wasn't even somebody who came through the southern border. This was a friend of my ex-wife. She worked with her. She had immigrated from Ireland on a fiance visa. She was here a year before she got her work permit.
Really?
Yeah. Now, did she work illegally? Absolutely, she did. But, like, why did it take a year to get a work permit?
I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I was thinking actual visa, like not visa, but green card. Is that correct?
Oh, she didn't have a green card. She was here on a fiance visa.
Yeah, so I was thinking you meant green card, but wow, a year.
Oh no, the fiance visa took 6 months.
But
before
still,
she could even come over here.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it was a year before she could legally work in the United States. So they created a criminal. Because you cannot expect someone to live here and not be able to work.
Right.
Like, it's just not possible for most people. So that's it. But I said it before and I'll say it again. Neither side actually wants to solve the immigration problem because if they do, they can't run on it anymore. Like, it's actually not that complicated. You build a wall, and everybody who's already over here, provided they pass a background check and fill out all the applicable paperwork, you grant them amnesty. Not even citizenship. You just say, okay, you're in the country legally. Calling Rice right now.
I'm calling ICE.
And it's okay. My disguise is phenomenal.
That's funny.
Actually, she moved back to Ireland. And you know how long? How long it took her husband to get Irish citizenship?
How long?
2 hours.
What? Well, Ireland doesn't really have as many people.
I know it's not the same.
And you don't have like millions of people go in there for opportunities. And I'm not saying you can't find opportunities there. I'm just saying.
Well, but it's a much smaller geographical area.
Dude, there are so many manufacturing jobs open in the United States. It's insane. Like, we don't even have enough people to do it because there are a lot of people that don't want to work those manufacturing jobs anymore. So I'm just saying, we could have a lot more stuff on the assembly lines.
I can think of a whole bunch of people in a certain geographical area due south.
It's like most of them, all they want to do is just work.
Oh, yeah.
And and the funny thing is, I was for building the wall. I was for adding more judges, so that a path to citizenship is streamlined. Sending back anyone who comes with a child and it's not their blood. It's like,
well, and they can't prove because again, adoption.
You have to be able to prove it. Yeah, but the thing is, though,
that's an outlier, though. That's the exception. That doesn't prove the rule.
Right.
But it's like, I don't want to stop people from Mexico, Central, and South America from coming here. I want to stop criminals from coming here.
Yeah, that's it. Criminals, like, I don't really care if anyone wants to work. I've never cared about that.
Everybody else, let them in, because honestly, I've seen enough lazy fucks in this country where it's like, listen, if you don't want to work, that's cool. There's thousands of people who will take that job.
Oh, yeah, and, like, I employed a lot of them when I was in the roofing business, and I tell you what, well, I'm specifically talking about Mexicans down south, whatever Spanish people. Anyway, they work harder than the white crews by 100. Like, it's insane.
Contrary to popular belief, Mexican is not a slur.
Yeah, I know, because technically, when you're talking Spanish, like, Spanish is Spain, so like span, not Spanish. Sorry, I apologize. Span is what is it? You should know this. Greek?
I don't.
Not Greek,
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
You should know it.
Span? What are you talking about?
Spain.
España?
Espanol. I don't fucking know. I'm not saying it's not that, man. Don't be putting words in my mouth.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't even know what I'm talking about. I need to eat more Gushers, but they're too fucking sour. Look at these bitches. They're really fucking sour. Every time I get one, I'm like, I gotta hold back the face. Like the who farted face.
Are they special Gushers?
No. I wish. That would be awesome. Special Gushers. That's mean. He says, I will charge $4,000 per head. Let's say there's 10 million people. That's $40 billion. I think there might be more than 10 million in the U.S. that's been here more than 20 years. Latinx.
Probably. Oh, Latinx. Well, I loved it though when the meme that was talking about how like they came up with the word for non-binary in Spanish, but they had a masculine and a feminine version.
That's the funny thing about people like non-binary, like they group everything, all the other genders and whatnot. They group that into non-binary, correct?
Well, I think they're saying that they're not,
and then they're saying they don't identify as anything. I don't know. That's just what I heard, but I was like sitting there thinking, if it's non-binary and then binary.
It doesn't make any sense.
That's still only two. That's two genders. But I don't know. This whole fucking gender thing just makes zero sense to me.
By the way, loving the comments, guys
Oh yeah, keep it up.
and gals. I don't know if there are any gals in there, but
Yeah.
hey, I can make hearts.
Aw, they don't go on the thing though. It just looks like there's a bunch of hearts going.
I know.
But anyway, so like, how did you feel how the interview went down with Piers Morgan and Trump versus DeSantis
I
interview?
thought
Do you think he was more forgiving to DeSantis versus Trump?
I don't know
Because
about forgiving, but I'm gonna keep it 100.
they keep it 100, brother.
I think Piers would rather see DeSantis in the White House over Trump. I can understand why someone would think that way, but I could also understand why somebody would rather see Trump. And unfortunately, they have to be careful. And I think DeSantis understands this. I don't think Trump cares. They have to be careful if it comes down to a primary between DeSantis and Trump because they could do a lot of damage to the Republican cause by fighting each other. And I think DeSantis knows that, which I don't think this is going to happen, but DeSantis might decide not to run to prevent that from happening.
I think that's why he said he doesn't want to run against Trump.
Well, I think it depends on how this indictment is going to go, because if Trump is found innocent, he's going to win.
Oh, yeah.
Because
they basically handed the victory to him if he wins.
Well, yeah. I mean, as long as he doesn't end up in prison, he's pretty well got it. And as long as he's eligible to run.
I don't think he's going to end up in prison at all.
Oh, I don't think so. As long as he's eligible to run, though.
Because can they get Secret Service in there?
I don't understand why this prosecutor is doing what he's doing. Because he does understand that if he doesn't convict Trump, he's pretty much handed him the election. Because it is obvious use of law enforcement against a political opponent.
For election interference. Which is a crime.
Yeah. You could certainly make that case.
Because,
100%.
But the thing is, what else is this? Because the thing is, it's past the statute of limitations for a felony in New York.
Well, apparently not if it's campaign finance, which is the whole reason. But again, let's remember, they did the same thing with Derek Chauvin.
But they have to prove without a doubt it came from the finances of the campaign.
Correct.
And that money has already been proven. It was paid for by Daniel Cohen. With no ties to Trump.
I don't know whether
according to Trump's lawyers. So, take it with a grain of salt if you must.
Right. They're gonna try to prove that isn't the case. But they did they did I actually heard that. Your mic is very good.
It was just a chair. It was just a chair.
Sure it was. They did the same thing with Derek Chauvin though. Now the difference here is Derek Chauvin was actually guilty of something, but the prosecutors went for second-degree murder.
Of what? Being a cop? Just kidding.
Well, no, but they had him dead to rights on manslaughter and then maybe even third-degree murder. But they just had to go for the second.
But the thing is, the screen talks, man.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. Going for second-degree murder was...
I know, but the dude's heart was giving out because he was fucking speedballing.
But you still could have gotten him for manslaughter. That would have been an easy conviction. But they had to go for the second-degrry murder.
I know. Yeah, I mean, I get it. And I'm okay with that. But they went with a fucking... What was it, life sentence?
That's what they were trying...
felony? What they end up getting him with? How many years did he get? It was like 25, wasn't it?
Well, he wasn't convicted of second-degree murder.
Well, and the thing is, he still has all tons of appeals.
Let's see. I'm going to look this up real quick.
All tons of appeals. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so he was convicted on 2 counts of deprivation of rights under color of law, 1 count of unintentional second-degree... Oh, no, I guess they did get him on second-degree murder. But it said unintentional second-degree murder, 1 count of third-degree murder, 1 count of second-degree manslaughter, and 2 counts of tax evasion.
Oh, damn.
21 years in prison.
How the hell did we get on him?
I made a comparison with him and Trump.
Oh, okay. See, that's how easy.
Again, that's not a fair comparison because Derek Chauvin was actually guilty of something. It remains to be seen if Trump was or Trump is or was or will be or any of that shit.
And it's like regardless, though, unless even if he did pay it or whatnot, like if it didn't come from the campaign finance money, then does it matter?
Well, technically, they could get him for false. I think the actual charge was falsifying business records, but that is a misdemeanor. So
a misdemeanor, not a felony. And a
well, I know, but
misdemeanor doesn't, do you have to have a clean record in order to not
felonies, I
be?
believe.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like
Yeah, that's
they're
why
just
they're
going
going.
for the felony.
Yeah, that's why they're going for the felony. But what they're going to find out is that now they have to prove that he's guilty of a felony. And in a criminal case, you have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. And at the end of the day, if what Ben Shapiro said is accurate, all Trump has to do is say, well, yeah, that was for the campaign. And then there's no problem.
You imagine that they come to find like an old commercial that they paid her $130,000 to do. Vote for Trump. You imagine?
He's going to blow the competition away.
Oh my gosh.
That sounded more like Trump than Stormy Daniels.
Yeah.
He's going to blow the competition away.
He does talk about himself in the third person, so I mean.
You think he does that when he masturbates?
Oh yes, Donald Trump is about to come.
He said, Donald Trump, I'm going to come.
The funny thing is, I can make fun of him, but at the end of the day, I fucking love Trump, and I love the way he talks to people. I also think that immigrants that can stay here legally will buy houses, buy cars, and the money being sent back to Mexico will be less. I think that was part of Reagan's success.
Oh, absolutely. But speaking of money being sent back, I was made privy to some of these money exchanging services. The fees on those are pretty stiff, and I believe that contributes to the U.S. economy pretty heavily. Because I know there are a lot of these
like Western Union.
It is, but it's sending money to Mexico, Central and South America. A lot of these, there's a lot of stores that apparently they make the bulk of their money that way. Like they have the grocery store side, and I always wondered that until somebody explained this part to me. There's a lot of these, like I call them Mexican stores, but they're not just Mexican stores. But you know what I'm talking about?
Bodegas.
Not even bodegas. Like they're legit, like small grocery stores. And I always wondered, and like they have butcher counters, which by the way, if you want to get some good meat, fuck me, it's phenomenal. But like I always wondered how these places stayed in business, because a small town American grocery store would, I mean, I don't see how that. Apparently it's these money services that are the bulk of it. So yeah, that was interesting, and it made total sense when it was explained to me, because like the fees are pretty stiff.
Do you have a brain fart?
No. Just a regular fart.
Okay. I was like, why did you stop talking and then start talking? I was like, that was weird. That was like a glitch in the Matrix. They're coming after me, Neo. I need your help. My background won't stop moving. It won't work for me. It's like, damn AI. You know what? It's never been so nice relaxing at the beach.
Man, I just can't get over all the comments. I'm telling you, man, we're on to something finally.
Yeah.
4 fucking years later.
It was either Top G, Trump, DeSantis, or Piers Morgan. And the funny thing is, Piers Morgan, like, I don't know what the fuck he is. Like, whether he be conservative or whatnot, he's like, he bounces back and forth. And I was like, dude, I appreciate that.
I think he would consider himself, and I think I've heard him say this, I think he considers himself a liberal, but...
Classic.
But when enough's enough, it's enough.
Okay.
And he did a, I can't remember, I think it was Ben Shapiro show, I think he had him on the Sunday special again, where he even said, he was like, I was wrong about guns, but at the time I didn't understand them.
Because I didn't understand from America.
That's what he said. He was like, but now having lived here as long as I have, I completely understand it. He's like, I still think some of it is kind of loony, but I understand the Second Amendment and appreciate it better than I did then.
Yeah, because...
Which that's a great thing to see, that he and Ben are now friends.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, they're real chummy now.
How dare you compare me to standing on the graves of dead children?
Well, but this is
he fucking
Ben Shapiro's...
Ben tore him up in that.
Well, but if have you heard Ben's commentary on that interview?
He probably went back and he's like, I would have said something else different.
No. Apparently, Piers had a kid in a wheelchair that was the victim of one of those shootings, and Ben saw this, and that's what the whole standing on the graves of children line was. It was so that he didn't wheel this kid out later in the interview.
He says, for me, Jeremy says, for me, it was both Trump and DeSantis tags together.
Sweet. Hey, man, we can always depend on Trump.
Yeah.
Well, so let me ask you this, Jeremy, if you don't mind me asking. You don't have to answer, obviously, but if it is Trump versus DeSantis in the primary, which one would you prefer to see? I know that either one, I would say either one's way better than Biden, but which one would you prefer, if you don't mind? And if you don't want to answer, just say I don't want to answer, or just stop talking. That's an option too. It's always you always have an option.
Here, let me ask you, Jake. Who would you? I already know you're going to say DeSantis.
As of right now, DeSantis, but that may very well change. And
like I said, I think that Trump would make the wise decision right now because, if he can get back, to pre-COVID era and get us back on the right track, then DeSantis would be guaranteed to 2028. And then
actually, but Trump's the variable, because if Trump weren't so volatile, I would say absolutely. I still think this is true.
But is it just his voice that's volatile? Because the thing is, his actions were not volatile at all.
No, well, yeah, it's just his voice.
We didn't start any new wars or anything like that, so it's like
it's off-putting for people. Well, yeah, but Biden ended the war in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
But
and then how many Americans are still left there?
I still, like I said in the beginning of the podcast, for those who missed it, I still would love to see Trump as vice president.
Dude, with the way you explained it,
I think it would be in his element.
I'd be on C-SPAN 24/7.
Dude, it would be better than him as president.
Oh yeah, he says
because his only job then would be to troll the left.
Jeremy says I'd prefer amends. Trump as president and DeSantis as VP with a clear mandate for domestic policy. I can agree with that, but at the same time,
I do too.
He's still governor, and I don't think you can actually run as president as governor without changing the laws. And
no, he would have to resign as governor.
Yeah, he would have to resign, and then
just to run though.
His lovely state of Florida, which I enjoy going to quite a bit. Who knows?
Well, but
who
it would his lieutenant governor.
No, I mean next election.
Well, I know, but
that's coming up.
Well, but DeSantis couldn't run again anyway.
Is it a 2-term limit for governors?
Oh, well, I mean, I think it varies by state actually, but you know what? It might be. I don't know. That would be a very good question.
Florida Constitution.
But then the lieutenant governor would run. So, and obviously they're in the DeSantis camp. So, and I agree. I think if Trump weren't such a variable, I would say the same thing. Get Trump his second term, and then you can have DeSantis run with Trump campaigning for him, and this still might be the best way to go.
Yeah,
it's just Trump is it's just that Trump is such a variable. Basically, to know whether it's the best idea, it would be too late by the time we would know. Because if Trump wins, obviously it's a great idea.
Right.
But if Trump loses, then we get 4 more years of Biden, and that would just suck the big pasty dick.
Hey, Jeremy, if you don't mind answering, what state are you in?
So that's a good question.
Get an idea of
that's a good one.
Who we were talking to and where.
But now, once again, I think this election is going to come down to Pennsylvania and Georgia, because Florida is going to vote red, I think.
Pennsylvania really got screwed, and I think they realized it.
So the election of Fetterman may actually benefit Trump.
Oh, because people are pissed.
How could you? Oh my God! How could you not? I don't understand how you can vote for Fetterman, but especially now.
Who will Trump have as VP? That's a good question. To be honest,
I think. Well, honestly,
I mean, as we see Kamala Harris, it doesn't really matter.
I think if Trump had the foresight, I think he would have already asked
Canadians.
DeSantis.
Sorry,
man, we're attracting Canadians lately.
Let's go, man.
Like
I was gonna say our buddy Toast88 here on YouTube. He, I mean, obviously Canada's a very big place, country. So it's like, who knows where he at? Actually, where did Toast say he resided? Like, not he's actually.
Well, I don't want to dox him, but he said it multiple times. He's in Toronto area.
Okay, I thought he was gonna say BC.
No,
Toronto.
Yeah, and his address is.
Toast is probably gonna watch this in a day or two and be like, "What the?"
He's like, "You motherfucker!"
Hey, Toast, man, get on that podcast, man.
Yeah, get
Start
on it,
it
dude. Your
up,
shit.
and man, we will bounce back and forth.
Fuck yeah, we will.
But
But yes, I think my ideal ticket would be Trump with DeSantis as VP. However,
I agree with
Trump
that. But
Trump just worries me as a variable. But I think now here's the thing: if I think DeSantis would be a phenomenal complement to Trump's more how should I say this outbursty nature, whereas DeSantis is quite a bit more reserved. So I think that ticket is really solid for Republicans. It's just how far will Trump go?
you know what really, like, because obviously we're in Indiana. We do not. Oh, I don't know about you, but I did not care for Mike Pence at all.
No, not at all.
And the thing is, when Trump picked him as VP, I was like, oh, why would you do that?
Because Pence wasn't going to ruffle any feathers. Or now here's
He I
probably
mean, yeah, he
now
did a few
here's
things, but I was like, man, no, I don't like him.
well here's why Trump probably won't pick DeSantis because DeSantis will tell him where to stick it.
He said it's okay. Half of Canada lives in the Greater Toronto area.
Yeah, that's pretty much what Toast said. But yeah, that's why I don't think I would love to see it. But one of the reasons Trump might not pick DeSantis is because DeSantis won't just go along
Yeah.
with the program. If DeSantis smells shit, he's going to point it out. And I don't think that's a good fit for somebody like Trump. I don't think Trump will go for that, even though that's what he needs. Because Trump needs somebody in this camp who has the balls to say, Donald, that's not a good idea. Why don't we do this instead? If he'd had somebody like DeSantis as VP, he might not have lost in 2020.
Well, because DeSantis is not quiet, so he would probably in the background be like, "Hey, dude, you sound like a complete dipshit." Quit trying to talk about light inside the body unless you know the actual words. And
well,
he
actually,
wasn't wrong
think,
when he was talking about that. He just
well, no,
he just
I don't
was saying
think
it
I don't
off the
think
wall.
DeSantis would have said that to Trump. I think DeSantis would have done a good VP move and been like, "Yeah, why are you making fun of him? This is a known therapy. He just didn't go into details because he's not a doctor."
And see,
This
right
is the
there, that
thing.
would have, that's what he needed, because as VP, Mike Pence did not back him up, and that's why at the end of the term, he was pissed at Mike Pence and was calling him all kinds of names and calling him a coward, which was not warranted. Just saying.
Alberto, I don't think we forgot to read your last comment. I don't think it came through.
Oh,
Or are
sorry
you
about
talking
that.
about? Well, no, I don't think we missed it.
He said, "I also think that immigrants that can stay here." Yeah, we read that. And then
Yeah.
he said, "I'm in Florida. DeSantis has done a good job. You forgot to read my last comment, broski." Sorry, bud.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think we missed the comment.
No,
Or
I read that out, I believe.
yeah, we were talking about because that's what I was talking about the stores and the money services.
Absolutely. Absolutely. An unchallenged leader will make great mistakes. That is
Yeah, 100%.
that is fantastic,
But that's
because
what I'm saying
Biden
because
is making tons.
yeah, well, because I mean, like, and as bad as it is, I heard somebody say like, why can't Biden just die? I'm not. This isn't called for that. Somebody said that, and I'm like, yeah, well, look what happens. Look what we get if Biden does become
Dude,
incapacitated.
Jeremy, that is so true. That poor man. That
We
poor
said, you know
man.
what? And we got so many hate comments when I was like, I'm not even being pro Trump here. That was just a fact. I don't think any president has been
Much
as
like
hated assuming
during
office.
the debate, it was Biden and Chris Wallace against Trump.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's
exactly.
like, how was that fair?
Well, and actually, it's I'm glad you said that because I was just about to make that point.
And then how
Trump,
Piers treated him. Just
yeah,
saying.
well, but that's what I'm saying. Trump would have really needed somebody like that because the media was already against him.
Yeah.
So
And
to have somebody like a DeSantis who was calm, collected, but could call bullshit on behalf of Trump while Trump was busy doing other things, because Trump is very much like he's a very candid speaker. And you have somebody come in immediately after like DeSantis and be like, well, yeah, don't you know they've been doing it? They've been doing this kind of treatment for other illnesses and viral infections for decades. Just come and be like, why are you actually make fun of the press for making fun of Donald when he was talking about something? And I think I pointed out at one point, it's like, don't you see a lot of new hand sanitizers that are stations that are coming out now have a UV light attached to them?
yeah, that's actually really cool. I've seen a couple of those.
Because it fucking works.
Yeah, it's awesome, because the thing is, you got to think, man. Even if you're touching a hand sanitizer and you're spreading around the top, like, some people might touch it with the back of their hand, and it's like they're not very good at, fronts, backs, and cracks. Like we learned in kindergarten, just saying. Or pre-K. Whichever you do, fronts, backs, and cracks. Sounds like the transgender community. Oh, we're getting flagged.
We're really good at bringing shit back full circle, though.
Oh, man.
This was a good one.
Alberto said, I said that I don't mean to sound messed up, but illegal immigration is kind of necessary because of cheap labor. If not, our food prices will go way up with Americans more pay and benefits.
Yeah, which is why I think they look the other way, particularly in agriculture. In fact, that was a problem that was pointed out during the pandemic.
The only problem I have with that is being paid their just due, because the thing is, like, some of them will work for like shit just to make it, and that's not fair to them. I don't care if they're coming from another country and they're just trying to make ends meet, but it's like, I don't want anyone treated like that. That's
well, but here's the thing though, and this, you're touching on something that could be easily solved. The problem is that they're here illegally, and the system's just looking the other way. Just allow them to come here illegally and do those jobs. Hold on.
If they're coming here illegally and they're doing those jobs, and they're, like, they can have several references, like, people that they're employed by, and they can have references that says, oh, all they do is work, they go here, and whatnot, and that they're a pillar in our community. Fast track them.
That sounds like a legal immigrant to me.
Fast track them. It's not that difficult.
I mean, realistically, yeah. I don't understand why.
Fast track anyone who is productive. Because the thing is, if they're productive before and you treat them well, they're still going to be productive.
Actually, our immigration policy does that to a point, but usually not with like farm labor.
It's our execution that is not the execution of them. It's our execution of these policies.
I was like, gay?
Are they gay? It's our execution on these policies that fall flat. So therefore, it's, if we can have the code written up, but if we're not following it, to a T.
Well, that's just it.
That's just it. At the end of the day, whether you are an American or wherever, you're still a human being, and we should be treated with, some dignity.
Well, you know what? And there was a time where I think the United States
Unless you kill people or traffic, that's just bad.
Yeah. Well, there was a time where I think the United States was the probably greatest vehicle for that sort of ideal. And I'm one of those people who, I don't believe that the Constitution applies to just American citizens. I think it applies for everyone that is on our soil, because the Constitution even says they are inalienable rights. They're not conditional to citizenship.
Because according to them, everybody's made by God, so therefore they have the same rights afforded to them.
Yes, these are rights belonging to man, humankind in general. It's not conditional to citizenship.
Still the greatest piece of ever written.
I mean, it only sparked other revolutions and government restructuring across the world after that happened. Like, people don't understand today how revolutionary that was. Like, yeah, there was democratic processes elsewhere, but that sort of system just hadn't been done that way before, and it's been emulated time and again.
I will say, though, if the Crown wanted to, they could have came in and wiped us out again, but they chose to back off.
Nah, it really wasn't that big of a deal.
That's the point.
For them.
Because they're just like, whatever, go on, Eon, whatever.
Oh, that is one thing. Once you learn history and learn that the Patriot is not something that you should get your history from.
Jeremy says flat tax deducted on pay for foreign legal workers is a standard. In Canada, our Mexicans are happy being paid in monopoly money. They'd be happy in the U.S. just enter legally.
Yep. Yeah, when you actually learn the history of what was going on in the Revolutionary War, we actually picked our spot really well, because England was in the middle of a massive war with France across the entire continent of Europe, essentially. So what was happening over here was like a minor security issue.
Alberto said, think about me as a U.S. citizen. I want $20 an hour with benefits to pick fruit, LOL. Just saying. My sister was a manager at a food factory, and they had 12-year illegal immigrants picking fruit.
Like someone who'd been here for 12 years, or you don't mean a 12-year-old illegal immigrant.
It's a necessary evil, unfortunately. Yeah, because the thing is, like, I mean, if they're not paying them, like $20 an hour to pick fruit, they're saving a lot of money and they're employing them. So, I mean, saving money and employing people is a win-win. Just, is it really a win-win for the workers?
Oh no, but I see what he's saying because it's kind of like how, as much as we hate drug money, it's a necessary evil.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that like taxing weed, like legalize it and tax it because you can make a ton of money.
12-year-old, really no. Actually, you
Oh,
know what? I could see that.
12-year-old. Okay, my bad. My bad.
Well, you know what?
12-year-old?
If he's not a citizen, technically he wouldn't be subject to. Well, I think he would be subject to child labor laws. But again, they just turn a blind eye.
Jeremy says, funny enough, illegal workers are hurting, sorry, not hunting, hurting the ones who'd compete as legal foreign workers. Yeah, I can see that because the thing is, the legal foreign workers, like, yeah, they're still going to take mostly, they're not going to be too picky with jobs because they are here for opportunity.
Well, so this ties into that short where somebody brought up that canal in, I think it was Louisiana.
Oh, and I just researched something up. I had no idea what the hell it was, and I was literally asking the person if it was one of these two because I researched Irish slaves building a thing.
But they weren't Irish slaves though,
or the indentured servants, whatever. Well, it said Irish, and then who else?
Well, no. Initially, they started using African slaves, or black slaves rather. I shouldn't say African because that's somewhat incorrect. But they started using black slaves, but it was so dangerous that the company decided that it would actually be cheaper just to pay Irish immigrants $1 a day, and if they died, who cares? It was actually cheaper to pay the Irish immigrants to work on it rather than risk the investment of their slaves. Now, they did still have some slaves working on it, but I think the estimated death toll of Irish immigrants working on that canal was like 8,000. So it was actually cheaper to pay immigrants less money. Like, that's wild. Like, that's exploitation to a T. But I digress. They were not slaves. It's not in the literal sense.
Pretty much slavery.
I mean, like,
I understand work until they die.
Well, not all of them died, but a lot of them died.
Listen here, you're trying. It's okay, not all of them died.
I'm just saying there's a difference. I'm not saying either one is good. They're just exploited differently.
Alberto says, bro, legal foreign workers are going to want U.S. citizen wages, and your box of eggs are going to go up to $20 a box. It sucks, but it's the truth.
Well, they're already going up to $20 a box, so who gives a shit?
Yeah, inflation and whatnot right now. So, yeah, I mean.
I had another thought today, and you'd appreciate this. For all those people who are saying that inflation is not as bad, and I'm looking at you, Kamala. I'm looking at you, and you, Joe. If inflation is not that bad, explain to me how Dollar Tree is now $1.25 tree.
Bro. My wife just sent me something today, and Dollar Tree, mind you, there are now aisles where they have $3, $5, and $10.
That's not everyone, but yes, I've heard of that happening.
Yeah, okay.
But every Dollar Tree is no longer everything is $1. Everything is now $1.25.
Believe it or not, hold on a second. Special. Believe it or not, guys, I actually can get eggs in my town for $2.29 a dozen. Now, who knows what's hormones are in them and all this fun stuff, but I mean, I'm gonna go with the cheaper ones. Sorry, finish your thing.
Oh, I was just saying, like, in every Dollar Tree, it used to be everything was $1, except for there are exceptions, like you said. There are some that have the more expensive items, but everything was $1 in every Dollar Tree, and now everything is $1.25. And I'm like, well, that's my biggest problem with the Biden administration is the fact that they're not living in the real fucking world, because you cannot tell me that you've stopped inflation and yet Dollar Tree becomes $1.25 tree.
Just all right. Let's for hindsight. I went to Arby's today, and I got a classic roast beef combo, and an order of mozzarella sticks. I got the small combo. It came up to $14.50 for just the meal and the small order mozzarella sticks. So I remember that's always been my go-to if I go to Arby's, which I shouldn't have ate today. I've been sick all day. Anyway, so I remember it only being like around $9-10 at most. It was like $6 for the combo, $6.50, and then $3 or $4 for the mozzarella sticks, maybe even $2.50. $15.
More and more McDonald's are getting away from the dollar any size drinks.
Oh yeah, and then how much is a double cheeseburger now? Almost $3.
Oh, it's more than that. Some places it's 3 something.
$3.29, and well, I have two locations in my town, and one of them is like $2.29 or $3.21. One's like $2.89 or something like that. I'm like, what the fuck?
Remember when they were $1?
And the funny thing is, the jump from $1 to $3, it may not seem like a whole bunch, but in our short time frame, because you're going from like what was it, $1 in 2006? I know it was $1 before that, but let's just start with the year 2006.
Yeah, we'll call it 2006.
Let's even say 2003. 20 years should not equate to $2 more. If you adjust for a little bit of inflation.
Well, that's a 200% increase.
Yes, it shouldn't even be like 25.
Wait, no, that it's not 100%, but
really 20 years, and
I cannot. My math is way wrong.
My math is not mathing.
That would be a 300% increase.
Alberto says other countries come with the degrees, so that's the real threat for American jobs. Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I think my math was wrong again.
Probably. I'm just kidding. You're a history major. You're a history major.
Yeah, I'm not the numbers guy.
I'm not either. Well, I mean, I might be. Bitch, I might be. Dude, 2.5 hours. We haven't gone this long in a long time.
It is a 300% increase.
300. Calling up Leonidas on this one.
Spartans, prepare for groceries.
Our paper straws will blot out the sun. Then we shall drink our daiquiris in the shade.
Oh fuck.
$2.60 USD for a 1-patty burger at Canada McDonald's. Yeah, but the thing is, listen, Canada, no cheese. Canada, literally,
no cheese. That's bullshit.
I would probably pay for Canada's food because they have less chemicals in their shit. From what I've seen and whatnot. I follow this guy on YouTube named Will Tennyson. He's very entertaining. Hey, how you doing there, Clark Kent? But anyway, and he was just showing the differences between McDonald's and one. I believe it was him. Maybe it was somebody else from Canada. And all the chemicals we have in our food versus, other countries. I would be okay with that.
All I know is that the fillet of fish tasted like ass in France.
Listen, fish is flipping nasty anyway.
Fish is flipping, but it is not nasty.
It is nasty. The fillet of fish, that is like a brick of shit. Not really. It's probably good. I've never actually had it.
It's just some nice Alaskan cod, I do believe.
Yeah. Oh, wow. It's actually cod? It's not pollock?
You know what? I'm going to look that up. I can't remember if it's Alaskan cod or whitefish.
Yeah.
I think it might be whitefish now that I say that. I'm failing my old McDonald's roots.
Halibut.
Huh. This is interesting. Do you know why they created the fillet of fish?
It initially was cod, but Ray Kroc switched it out because it ended up being cheaper by using halibut.
It's halibut now, huh? Do you know why they created the fillet of fish?
No, why?
Lou, I'm guessing it's pronounced Groen. Lou Groen, a McDonald's franchise owner in Cincinnati in 1962, in response to falling hamburger sales on Fridays.
Oh, Lent.
Because of Catholicism. Yeah. Catholics, they can't eat meat on Fridays.
Friday period, not during the Lent at all.
Yeah, period. Technically, you're not supposed to, but I know some Catholics
shows how much I know.
2 years to be satisfied. Okay, yeah, I get that. What fucking fish is it? Come on. Okay, tell me what fucking fish it is.
I thought it was halibut.
Wait, what? Oh my god! In 2019, McDonald's sent a cease and desist letter to a small Canadian restaurant that was selling a fish sandwich called effing fillet of fish. That's hilarious. Alaska pollock. I knew it was Alaskan.
Hey.
As of May 2020, it's Alaskan pollock.
All right, we're gonna do some Catholic jokes.
Oh no!
What do you call a sleepwalking nun? A Roman Catholic. Oh my gosh.
That's hilarious.
I don't have any more.
I think we should wrap it up.
Why did the priest giggle during his homily? He had mass hysteria. Yeah, it's time to wrap it up. We're getting cheesy. Hey, we've been cheesy.
It ain't easy being cheesy.
Dangerously cheesy. Oh, Neil Peart is the best drummer ever. All right.
Well, yeah, that's what I called Orange Piccolo.
Guys, hey, we seriously appreciate you guys coming back and forth. That shit's fun. That's what we strive for.
Very, very much so. You should go back
we like to engage.
You should go back and watch all the other episodes, all of them.
If
tonight.
you want to.
Tonight, do it.
Tonight, do it. Just let them run.
Yeah, just let it roll.
You ain't even gotta
listen to it while you sleep. We need to get those. We need to get those.
What's the saying? Say it. You might come out a little less average.
Oh no, I'm going to say it for him. I was going to say we got to pump up our rookie numbers to get those watch hours up.
Oh yeah, in order to get monetized, dude. I can't believe
that's the last step.
It used to be like 2,000. Yeah, because we're gonna push 1,000 here soon.
Oh, I said it's the last step. I'm thinking of my channel, but yeah, we'll get to 1,000.
We got to get some more interactions. Like we said, we appreciate you guys very much, and
we got to convert.
I'm sure one of you guys liked, or both of you. Hey, if you did, we appreciate it.
I'm seeing 5 likes.
Yeah. 5.
Alrighty. Well, I'll wrap her up. Thank you for enjoying this episode of the Average Intelligence Podcast. Hopefully you're a little bit less average and a little bit more intelligent. I almost said less intelligent, a little more average. This is my second podcast of the night. I'm tired. As always, you can enjoy all of our episodes here on YouTube, but if you prefer to listen to the podcast, or you can see the video episodes on Rumble as well. Can't forget about Rumble and the Acropolis News Network, where you can see all of the free episodes as well as our premium content. There are now 2 premium episodes on there. Are there 2 or
one? Just one right now.
That's right. There's 1 premium. Sorry. But I believe next week we're going to be recording the second one, so that'll be up there shortly. But if you prefer to listen to the podcast rather than watch it, well, first of all, shame on you, quitter. But if you would prefer that, you can check us out on virtually every main audio podcast platform, including but not limited to Amazon, Audible, it's not Anchor.fm anymore. It's like Podcasters by Spotify. So it's still Spotify, YouTube Music, iHeartRadio, Podcast Addict, Podbean, and there's so many more. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, if I haven't already said it. Basically, just Google it. You'll find it. I promise.
Google it.
Google it. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Send it to your friends, your neighbors, your wives, your friends' wives, that other wife that you do things with sometimes. And while you're at it, go ahead and buy them a Stevie Wicks candle. Either to say I love you or to say I'm sorry. And don't forget to use your promo code. Don't forget to use your promo code AIP.
AIP. Apes stand together. All right, and with that said, that's another one in the books. Yeah. Peace out, guys.
Go home.